Salam, salam. Good evening, guys. Good morning. No matter where you are around the world, this is Cyber Power of Tigray live from the Western United States. I have our guest tonight, Mr. Barakat, out of Seattle, Washington. Ephraim, out of Washington as well. I am your host, Mike Casson from Oregon. So tonight we have a number of topics that we're going to be discussing about. Some of them are extremely sensitive, extremely painful, but it took us about a day for some of those videos, particularly a young lady who some of you have heard and read that we'll be talking about. We'll do our best to minimize the amount of video that we will show you, but when we get closer, we will warn you. With that being said, we'll cover the initial start of the war, what's going on as a result of that today, and what's been going on for the last 4+ months. So welcome, guys. We're going to make it a discussion, but some questions I'll have for you to the audience will be helpful for you guys to take a moment to answer those questions. So who would like to start introduction-wise? I know people know you guys, but it's always nice for the new people to introduce yourself.
Okay, I think I am a little bit older than both of you, so will give me the opportunity and the privilege to start with. I am here, Mike, and Ephraim with heavy heart. This is the most difficult time ever in my life to witness and to talk about this subject matter. It is about my family. It is about my family. It is about my country. It is about my daughter that I have. And I will warn also on the subject matter that really touches me to the heart and shakes me to the core, that we have to be able to broadcast it to the world what is happening in our Tigray for our sisters, daughters. And I hope you will continue throughout this discussion that the world has to witness such atrocity and barbaric that is being committed in our soil.
Thank you so much. I couldn't have said it better. Ephraim, please go ahead and do introduction.
I mean, this is home. I'm, as you know, I'm the founder of Cyber Power of Tigray, and also from the background, you all know about my situation. I was a freedom fighter. I'm a caregiver. You know, I feel the pain of the people. As a registered nurse working in the hospital, I feel people who are sick, who are injured, and I feel their pain, and I always feel that Tigray is facing right now. I feel it from my heart, from my bottom heart, you know, and the pain is right now in Tigray. And I call myself a lifelong freedom fighter. I love the freedom. I love to have a free speech. Why I'm involving with media too. I believe everyone needs to freely speak their thoughts, their opinion in a free, because what you think, because what you speak, there is no punishment, no whatsoever. So I believe in that. I believe in a free speech. So I'm a free fighter who I can participate or of Tigray on your English program.
Thank you both. Hopefully we'll get the audio situated. We're having a little bit delay on Ephraim's audio. And so I know there's a lot of topic that we want to discuss about tonight, but to kind of touch bases on how this war started and what's been going on, what the intentions were. Could you, Ephraim, while you at it, like, can you talk about Maikadra, what happened there, how it actually the war started, just briefly, and then I'm going to have Mr. Baraka jump right in after you.
Okay. About my cadre, I think it's getting a little bit about my cadre because they lost their claim. And it was when Abiy Ahmed started the mass killings in act of genocide in Tigray. He no to declare the war. As you recall, he was planning to do war anyways in Tigray. As you know, the Amhara government official was saying that they were prepared to start time. The Eritrean the Brazil Air Force area and part of the preparation of the war. And the war started like immediately after Abiy came to the power, like closing the roads, the main freeways, block to Tigray, and also he said that sent some who,
All right. So I apologize, but Ephraim, I'm gonna interrupt you because half of what you're saying is not coming through. So I'm gonna have Mr. Baraka jump in. Let's see if we can get your audio situated while we work on that. Mr. Baraka, so if you don't mind, just instead of kind of going off of what he mentioned, can you just talk about Maikadra and then help us to move from there to the fact this initial war, there's been so many lies I can't keep track of, but the fact that the war was supposedly declared to take um, uh, basically to take down 64 Tigray leadership was the initial war that started when the Maikadra massacre took place. It was double insult actually. After the massacre, they played the victim, blaming the victim. So can you kind of jump on that just briefly, and then we'll get to the main point, which is what happened in the last couple of days?
Thank you, Mike. As I said, let me start a little bit before I would like to talk about my cadre. Something that many of our colleagues, I call Ethiopians, that repeatedly Isaias Afwerki, president of Eritrea, threatened on repeated video messages that he would dismantle Ethiopia in order to wipe out TPLF from the surface of the earth. his accomplished Abiy Ahmed, the custodian prime minister of Ethiopia, said nothing. Actually, he was complicit in his silence. Unfortunately, so were the members of the parliament, I call rubber stamp parliament, and officials and nationalists at the time when they needed to have been resolved. This was not a rhetoric or a politician, but a digger aimed at Ethiopia's heart because of 4 years prior to the prime minister days of Ethiopia, Prime Minister Zenawi, the fragile federation of 9 states of Ethiopia was getting increasingly looser. I mean, that's what. It has never crossed my mind that Isaias would also give his soldiers an order to systematically dismantle development infrastructure and factories that hold to Asmara. Even more surprising was Abiy's accused in this brilliance of the two Morans that they could expedite Eritrea's development by stealing factories and equipment from Tigray. I could not understand. Asmara develops while Mekelle returns to abject poverty. This is the first time that Tigray has been punished in isolation. It has been done in very successive ways. Haile Selassie, Menelik, Derg, whatnot. And this Moran prime minister as well. Derg did prior to the end. Not a soul from other ethnic groups raised a voice of protest. And that's what we are here again. When those kind of atrocities are being committed, none of members of the Ethiopian community or nationality has raised their voice. And we are accustomed as the Tigrayans for such atrocity. It breaks our heart. But also, it gives us a reason to fight more. Coming back to my cadre, at first, the Eritreans started bombing with heavy artillery to clear out.
Sorry, Mr. Barakat. Just quickly, I just want to interrupt you there. Why are we accustomed to the wars?
Well, one of the problems is that, historically, we trying to be marginalized in many ways because they think we are the contenders for power struggle for Ethiopia. Actually, we die for Ethiopia, and other ethnic groups are the beneficiary, and it has been successfully in history. From Menelik all the way. We die for Ethiopia, and then Ethiopia kills us, and that has been the history. Nobody would repeat it, deny that. So coming back to your question, we just have to be smart from this. Lessons is learned, and we have to move forward. We have to anchor our thoughts on the development of Tigray and ourselves. We invested so much on Ethiopia, but Ethiopia invested on us to ethnic cleansing and termination as a group of as an ethnic group of Ethiopian descent. Right now, I am itching myself to call an Ethiopia because we died for Ethiopia, and Ethiopia did not do nothing when such atrocity is being committed. Coming back to my cadre, first they were cleared by heavy artillery from Eritrea, and then the Fotolabash, or what you call the Amhara militia, and special forces followed through on the skirts of Eritrean troops and Ethiopian defenses because they never dare to come to that area without the help of those. And as you know, they ethnically isolated Tigrayans, and they started to butcher them, kill them, and dismantle them. And some of them who left to Sudan, they were able to witness. But what the government did was they tried to play down those victims who were Amhara that was killed by TPLF forces. They have given a name that none of us are aware of, and they try to deceive the whole world. They killed us twice. One, physically. Second, in social media, that we were not able to defend and knowing what's going on because he cut electricity purposely, he cut communication, internet, and so on. So he got a free line to manipulate the world the way he wants it. But once it is known that the numbers of victims, Tigrayanis, and then he started to lower down the numbers of those victims. So my Kadra was the first symbol of resistance. What is going to await for more massacre of Tigrayans, and unfortunately, those people escaped Sudan. There were some smart journalists because they didn't believe him, and this government is lies after lies that doesn't have no credibility at all. They have their suspicion to begin with, and they started to interview those people who escape death and torture, and to give a detailed account of what was happened in my cadre. Without those brave journalists, interrogation, would not be able to know the whole facts for that time. But now it has been clear that most of those victims were Tigrayans. And once they know that they are Tigrayans, they started to lower the number of the victims, as you know, Mike. So my cadre was the first instance for Tigrayans what's going to await us. As we're going to see later, the atrocities that is being committed on civilians. We are talking now on civilians because they never dare, to fight, combat Tigray defense forces. They know what is awaiting them, and that's what we are here. Because by any standard of international norm, the civilians are protected, but most of the victims are civilians who have no reason, who have no interest at all in politics, that they become victims of those mercenary troops from Eritrea. I call it Abiy Defense Forces and militia. So my cadre is only once on the tip of iceberg, as you know, Mike. It happened Aksum. It happened in many monasteries. It happened in Mekelle. It happened in Agula. It happened in Adwa. It happened. Where is a place? It happened in Gijet. It happened in Saharti. It happened. Every village in Tigray has been disseminated purposely to scare people, to scare the whole nation, so that they can be to submission. So my cadre is just only a beginning. What, as I said, what the Tigrayans will await them for the future.
Thank you. So, the reason I brought that up obviously is an old wound, but it's also something that we often tend to forget, something when time passes. So I just want to briefly bring to that discussion. But to those of you who are new, I hope you or had the opportunity to hear what he described. If not, all you have to do is Google it and you will see the story. There's more atrocity. I can't emphasize enough, I was numbed like throughout the day yesterday. I've talked to so many people that were emotionally in pain. And I know I spoke to you earlier before the show. You had a hard time as well yourself, and you have to talk to your kids, what's going on with this crisis. And it's the most difficult thing. And the fact that you struggle to even, whether or not you can have a discussion with your wife about this situation. You know, I'm trying to, remain calm, and also trying to just work with our people to go through the pain and suffering. I have a video that I know many people already seen this, but I think the clip that's been shown has been shorter. This clip that I'm going to show was aired on DW International earlier today. So what you'll see on this video is the soldiers basically checking this young man a line on their shoulder, whether or not they had carry weapons and whatnot. I mean, these are like civilians, basically, to be executed. But before they were executed yesterday, that we saw the video, I want people to have an opportunity. But before we jump on that, I'm gonna bring Ephraim in to see if his audio is back working. I want to give him an opportunity as well to join us. So let's see if we can get him going. Ephraim, welcome. So let's see if we can get you going with the audio situation. So we cover my cadre. I'm gonna jump in into showing a video. After the video, I want to ask you a question, Ephraim. Since you are a freedom fighter yourself, as a fighter, what you will see in this video clearly is against every international rules against civilians. But we know the two dictators in East Africa, Isaias Afwerki of Eritrea and Abiy Ahmed of Ethiopia, are ruthless. The only time in history that I read and understand such things have taken place was in the 19th century when Hitler attacked 5 to 6 million Jews. With that, let me share the video with all of you guys. Again, this video is young men in Tigray shown by the Ethiopian forces. Basically, it was aired earlier today by DW International. So I'm grateful for DW International to allow us to share the part of this clip. So here is the audio I'm going to play. It's an Amharic. And they're searching for a weapon. This man has no weapon.
እንደምታዩት ያው የወያኔ ሬሳ ነው፣ ዘረጋግፈነዋል። በቃ
So the person I believe who's recording is saying enough. And now he's commanding them,
ወያኔ መጨረሻው
saying you're a hero,
ምሕረት የለንም,
and we will not spare you. That's Amharic.
አስነስተህ በለው እናቱ ልብዳት.
He say F his mother and keep shooting him is what he's saying.
እንደምታዩት አልሞተም። ይኸው ልደግመው ነው።
So he said, look at this one, he's not dead, so I'm going to finish him.
ወደ ገደል ወሩት.
And then now he's ordering them to push them
ጭካኔ ነው እንግዲህ ከወያኔ ነው የተማርነው። ምንም ማድረግ አንችልም። መጨረሻችሁ ይሄ ነው።
He's saying this is the end of you.
ነዳጅ ቢኖር አሪፍ ነበር። እነዚህ
He said if there was
ህንዳዊ መሆን ነው።
gas, he would gas them all.
ጥይት አታባክን።
Now he's saying instead of the weapons.
ህወሓት ያሸንፋል አለ። መጨረሻው ይሄ ነው እንግዲህ። ታሸንፋላችሁ፣ አይዟችሁ። ሞቷል።
He said victory will be with you soon.
ያልሞት ያልሞተው ያው
Now they're going one by one to make sure.
ግዳሉ ሹተው አንተ ወይኔ ልምጣ እንዴ.
He's saying shoot him or I'll shoot him.
ድንጋይ አለ። ትክክል ነው በለው።
He's going to fire one more bullet.
በቃ በቂ ነው።
These are dead bodies. So Ephraim, when you see this from what you did when you were a freedom fighter, like how do you sleep through this? What is it? Oops, we lost him again. So Barakat, I'm going to come to you the question.
Yeah, it is Mike. As I said in the beginning, we did talk about this subject matter, that I am here with heavy heart and at times mind-boggling that I was sleepless after I saw this video. It is a cruelty. They are young, 18 or under. They were civilians, and there was no threat. They didn't have weapons with them. They're just simply ordinary people. Those beasts, animals, are taking so many innocent lives. This is only a tip of iceberg because somebody videotaped it. Imagine, there are so many atrocities that are being committed that we are not aware of. I mean, we know what's going on. This is only just because they're being caught or somebody smuggled it that we were able to witness. And that's what the whole world has to witness, what's going on in Tigray. When we are talking about ethnic cleansing, we mean it. When we are talking about genocide, we mean it. Those people don't have heart. They are there to eliminate us as a Tigrayan ethnic group in Ethiopia. That's the whole soul. I mean, there is nothing. What really bothers me the most is that the silence of other Ethiopians. You know, Ephraim, he was in the struggle against the Derg. He was as young, and he has so witnessed so much. But to see such brutality to your own people, to young, who have so much ahead of their life, be cut off with such heartless, barbaric, is a gruesome to watch. Let alone to watch to complete that it's happening in Ethiopia. That's why we are decided that the whole world had to witness what's going on in Tigray. We are sick and tired of it, convincing the world what is happening in Tigray. This is on their own admission. You heard him. Finish him. I wish we have a gas. We will burn them. Finish his life. But you know what? What really? Until the days, he was one of them was chanting, "TPLF will win." That gives me hope. That gives me hope. Even at the fire, at the days, the stamina, the bravery of those young, never bleached. So this is what the Tigrayans are, fighting for. Think about it. And we're going to continue to fight. That's what I am urging. And other Ethiopians who are watching, other Tigrayans, forget about Ethiopia, Tigrayans, they don't have to die with those barbaric soldiers who have no norms of international, let alone humanity. Go and fight. Join the Tigray Defense Forces to save your life, to save the life of your people, to save your country. Otherwise, those barbaric Amharas in defense forces, Abiy's defense forces, of course, the Eritrean mercenaries, they will kill you for nothing because of who you are. That's what we are trying. In many times, Tigrayan origin, who sees this in the light of politics, is not right. This is not about politics. This is about humanity, who we are. They just want to eliminate us. And nobody wants to be eliminated because of who he is. That's what we are fighting in social media. That's what we are fighting in the barren. And we're going to continue to do so. But the world had to witness what is going on in Tigray. He cut electricity. He cut internet. He cut food. He cut access. He did everything at his disposal to eliminate Tigrayans. The reason that we are speaking in English is it's not that the Tigrayans, they don't know about it, but we want the whole world to witness what is happening in our Tigray, so that we need their support to raise their humanity. We are talking about humanity. Humanity is not a dispensable object. We are dealing with those people who have no international standard and norms, people who are not abide by the rule and regulation of prisoners of war, soldiers who deny the basic humanity, protecting civilians. I think we have to push more, thanks to the European Union and United States State Department and foreign policy advisors, and many of the United Nations security members, especially Ms. Linda for her support and Mr. Belkan for his support to expose the dark side of this administration, what's happening to Tagaru in their own land. We are sitting in our land. We didn't go anywhere to invade no one. We just exercise our democratic right that we fought for so long to be who we are. Yes, I am mad. All of us are mad. What's happening to our people of no of their own fault. The world had to witness such atrocity. I don't know. I don't have any mic, Ephraim. I don't have any words to express myself. I am speechless and I am hurt like anybody else, but also hopeful when I hear one of the young chanting to the last of his will win. TPLF will win. And the Tigray people at the end will win. It brought us to this stage, our sacrifice. It is going to continue to emancipate us ourselves through our struggle. But this time, it is only be for us, not for Ethiopia. We died many times for Ethiopia. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. We lost humanity. We lost who we are. Now we are going to invest in our land and in our people. Ethiopia is a country that was formed on lies and deception throughout history. And it is time that we should expose such a fable and a legendary, imaginary thoughts. This is a testimony of what Ethiopians can do to other fellow Ethiopians. As you see, Mike, of all this atrocity being committed, they are chanting on the streets of Washington, D.C., supporting a government who is committing atrocity.
And that is the atrocity. I'm going to interrupt you there. We're going to jump into the next subject. I'm going to let Ephraim get an opportunity to jump in. And then for those of you who are listening to us, I am also bringing in Mickey Tigray to join us. Oh. So Ephraim, I want you to comment on the video that I just showed. While you do that, I am going to have Mickey Tigray join us.
Great. It's good to have Mickey Tigray as well. Okay, are you telling me to continue?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay, so let's, Mr. Barakat stated well, as he stated that Abiy Ahmed has been done so many things to Tigray people. When Abiy Ahmed came to the power, he deceived the world and received Nobel Prize in 2019. They said he initiated a peace between Ethiopia and Eritrea. That initiation has not been done by Abiy Ahmed anyways. It was initiated by EPRDF. But Isaias Afwerki was refusing until he find some manipulate, or he could do whatever he wants to do, like as Abiy Ahmed, the same as Abiy Ahmed, because Haile Mariam was a little bit tough and Meles was a little bit tough too, whoever is in APRDF. So the initiation was not made by Abiy Ahmed, but he deceived the world because he had internal relationship with Isaias Afwerki to dismantle and destroy Ethiopia. Uh, since he was in intelligence, he was working as intelligence anyways in NASA. So after that, what did he he started to systematically marginalize the people of Tigray, and he jailed and killed countless leaders of Tigray origin, which is when I was a freedom fighter, they came and have done a lot of heroes when we were fighting with Dirk, and they have uh, high officials. They had some positions in military and Ministry of Defense, but those were already thrown away to the centralized power and was also destroyed. Well, he centralized the power and he destroyed the federal system. Right now, I don't think we have any federal system because it's already centralized by one person who is Abiy Ahmed. He postponed the election indefinitely using COVID as pretext. Threatened the Tigray government and people for holding regional election, as you all know this, and suspend funding for and cut ties with Tigray. Tigray people, they don't have no budget. They don't have no one is getting no one is getting paid at this time. Not only now, but it's been how many years now? So the funding was suspended. Tigray people and the government opposed. He the opposition of the election process. You already know about that too. So, Abiy Ahmed has done a lot of stupid things, and he deceived the Ethiopian people. Also, I was one of them. I was a victim because I was the one that I post his pictures and his groups on my Facebook because I thought he was going to do a better reform to Ethiopia. But his plan was just to destroy Tigray people. So even the locust invasion and COVID pandemic, he never done anything to Tigray people because he used it as weapon to kill Tigray people. This is a genocide from the beginning until now. So the mass displacement, you know already, about 60,000 people fled to Sudan since the war started already. And family separated and children left without parents, elders and disabled people left behind without anybody to care for them. So 2 million internally displaced already also. So when we say genocide, including the mass killings, it's 52,000 civilians massacred in since the war started. Not only this everything is done not only by Ethiopian troops, but also Eritrean troops, Somalian troops, by airstrikes of the United Arab Emirates. So why? And now what he is doing is Abiy Ahmed, all those soldiers that they are killing the innocent Tigrayan youth are already, an order was already given by him because Isaias Afwerki stated that from 7 years, above 7 years old, all Tigrayans, they have a mentality of Wayane, so they need to be destroyed. So they are planning to destroy the entire Tigray people. So this is malnutrition, water. There is no water in Mekelle. If you call now and if you ask them, there are Ministry of Defense or the Abiy troops are around the clean water or the main source of the water that no one can use the water also. So the widespread raping and torture that you show the video, it hurts, committed by Eritrean and Ethiopian soldiers. Rape used as a tool to physically terrorize and torture Tigray people. They ask them, or either I kill you or I will rape you. And then after they rape them, they put like multiple objects into their vaginal, into their private area. Why? Individuals are forced to rape their own family members, forcing women to have sex. At the beginning, they were forcing them to have sex in exchange for basic supplies because Tigray people didn't have anything to eat, anything to drink. Many girls raped by multiple soldiers. It's been reported. Soldiers raped girls and women in front of their husband, in front of their kids, in front of their mothers, in front of their fathers, in front of their siblings. What is this all torturing our people? Why? Why? You know why? Because they want Tigray people. I don't think our people will kneel down or bow for any of that because we went through all that already. Dirk tried to nail us down. Dirk tried to kill us in weapon, airstrikes. I was 13 years old when I was fighting this evil Dirk administration. The more they kill us, the more they torture us, we get strong, we get stronger, we get united. We will fight them. We will destroy them for sure, no matter what. They are looting everything. They are taking all our assets. Eritrean soldiers are looting all the markets, the small shops, and all the residents. Couches, bed, all the kitchen utensils, everything, furnitures.
I think that's replaceable, though. I'm more focused like the humanitarian crisis. I think the material
No,
we passed.
the reason why are they doing this? You know, because they don't want that. They are using the starvation as weaponized. They are taking everything. They are taking ambulances. They are taking all the transportations, the vehicles, and the truck, the Mesfin industry trucks. You remember that they defeated the company name. They renamed them. They changed their color. Factory equipment and machineries, everything. Medical equipment and supply. Why? Because this is a COVID season. And if there is any COVID, they are let the people to die by pandemic. Even Dirk never done this. Even Dirk, even though he does a lot of stuff, but he never done this kind of torture to our people. So this is different. This is totally different, inhuman. The destruction of civilians and public properties, everything. They intentionally destroyed the critical infrastructures. All infrastructures. Who? Eritrean and Ethiopian soldiers destroyed our beloved, our Tigray. And shame those people who are supporting Abiy Ahmed today. Shame on them. Shame on them. This is not about rule and order. This is about the ethnic ethnic cleansing. They cannot even see the action of those evil soldiers, what they are doing in Tigray right now. I'm, I just feel like, was I living with those people? I feel like I'm just trying to see those people who they work with me and the people who I see them on the street who support this government. Those are the enemy of not only for Tigray people, but the enemy of Ethiopia, whatever they call that Ethiopia, because they are not witnessing the truth. They are not protecting their own people. They are not protecting me. I have a blood from everywhere. I have a family member from everywhere. What does Ethiopia mean? Shame on them. And those are priests. They have a cross on their hand. They have a cross on their hand. Those are very famous celebrities of Ethiopia that I have seen on the protest. Singers, very famous, very well-known singers. They're supposed to be fighting for the human rights, not for individual politicians. Not for individual politicians. Abiy will go tomorrow and somebody will come tomorrow. But we need to protect the constitution. We need to protect our people. We need to protect each other. We need to protect each other. That's how American people live. If you pass a red light, somebody behind you will call the police and let them know that you are breaking the rule. The soldiers are breaking the rules now. Is it a law and order? Killing like innocent Tigrayan youth, raping women, and putting objects in their vagina? When I saw the video of ISIS in Libya, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm glad I'm from Ethiopia. I used to say that. I used to say, oh, I'm glad I'm from Ethiopia. When I see the movie from Rwanda, I walked away. I saw, oh, I'm glad I'm not from this. Rwanda is in Ethiopia. ISIS are now in Ethiopia. ISIS is the government of Ethiopia now. Our government is ISIS. It's for Ethiopian people, for Tigray people. This makes me so nauseated and so sick to hear this. And I'm sure the whole world are aware what's going on. And actually that gives us a proof that the war is based on ethnicity, because those people are supporting the government ethnicity, and we are dying and we are supporting our people. About law and order, this is not about anything else. This is about ethnic cleansing. They are killing our people, and they are supporting because those people who are supporting is the ethnicity of the people on the leadership right now. They are supporting their own ethnicity. They are supporting their own crime. My cadre was already exposed. They don't have anything to say about Mara. People are already witnessed. Humanitarian UNHCR already witnessed that the people were killed. The Tigray people were killed on that area. And they don't have no more to say about my cadre, the Ethiopian government. They cannot say about it no more. They don't have even, because they have done it themselves and the whole world already knows about it. So I'm sorry that I'm a little bit emotional, but we'll go through this. We'll go through this and we'll fight them. And they already know who we are. They have to respect us as who we are. We speak Tigrinya and we are from Tigray. And I'm proud that I'm from Tigray. They cannot destroy my ethnicity. They cannot destroy my identity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ephraim. So you mentioned how we felt that Ethiopia was a better place back in old days, and you guys both know better than I do. When you mentioned ISIS, this was, some photos that was shared with me actually from some young Oromos who are heartbroken with what's happening in Tigray, believe it or not. I'm yet to come across, with the exception of the two young lady in New York City from the Amhara tribe that were born in the United States, came out protest with us, to have them come out and speak. But this is what they're doing in comparison what happened in Libya and other part of the world when ISIS were just beheading people, executing people. That is exactly what Abiy Ahmed and Isaias Afwerki are ordering to be done in Tigray. So for those of you who are old enough to remember what Al Qaeda was doing, what ISIS was doing, this is what's happening in Tigray today. People, wake up. So if you're like Ethiopian, wake up. For those of you who are coming here and arguing, well, I'm gonna hold off my rants and I'm gonna focus on the important discussions that we want to address it with you guys, because Ethiopian community in the Washington D.C. area and some part of the world obviously are so coward that they actually were out protesting to support the killer in Addis Ababa, while civilians, the comment that I saw one of you say, the youngest person and those who got executed on the clip that I showed you guys, which actually there's a longer one that I haven't showed it. The youngest one is 8. Okay, 8-year-old is the youngest one. So why are they doing this? Their tactic is pure by Isaias Afwerki, spread throughout the Horn of Africa. If you kill every young man in Tigray, his thinking is that there will not be fighters to fight. But those fighters on the battlefield, they're fighting Eritrean, Amhara militia, Amhara Fana, and the various troops that are so-called federal troops in Tigray, relatively 100 Tigray Defense Forces to about 1,000 enemy forces. Still, they are putting big whips on them. But when they do, every time they do that, what's happening? Civilians are paying the price on this. So for those of you who try to come out here from Eritrea, I have said it before, and I'm going to be very clear tonight. We don't have issue with the normal human being in Eritrea. What we have issue with is those of you cowards, those of you who dance on the death of young children, on the massacre, those of you who support rape, 23 Eritrean troops taking turns attacking a young girl. I mean, if that doesn't make you sick, you are worse than a dog. I don't care if you Eritrean women, men, Amhara men or women. If you come out here to argue, saying it's fake, or that this young girl and those young men deserve it, you are a coward. You're not a human being. You're evil. You're sick. You should be admitted to like mental institution. And I think we are sick and tired of like sugarcoating it, but we're going to keep it as professional as possible. But again, I think the State Department, those of you who follow the hearing that was held today, those of you who been part of the political movement, you understand what's going on. With that, we got Mika Tigray. I'm gonna bring him right up here. So we're gonna kind of. All right, welcome, Mickey.
Let me
Well,
say,
stay. Good to see you guys.
nice
Good
to
to
see
see you as
you.
well, sir.
I want
Good
to say
one.
something in regard to that.
Salam barakat.
Salam,
So
Mickey. It
we're,
was nice to
we're,
see you.
we're gonna let's give him a couple minutes to like kind of kind of give him what we are so that he knows where we are at to make sure that
Okay.
we keep him on the loop. So Mickey, the three of us sort of finished
Welcome, Mickey.
venting about the videos of those young men who were executed in Tigray. We spoke about how the Maikadra crisis took place, the inhumane of the Amhara militia, the Amhara Fana, the various troops within the so-called federal troops in Ethiopia, and the Eritrean forces. So we are at a stage to jump into the next segment, which is going to be what the U.S. State Department's, Twitter was stating today. And there's a clip that I haven't showed it yet. A couple videos that I'm going to show that we're going to jump you in. But I'm going to give Mr. Burkhardt a couple minutes to say what he wanted to say. But
Good.
we're going to bring the stage back to you.
Thank you.
Agree. No worries. Manjus.
It was always a pleasure to see my brother.
Welcome, Mickey.
Yeah, good to see you, brother.
Regardless
Good
what
to
has
see you
done,
too. As you know,
regardless what has done in Tigray cannot be forgotten, nor normalized or easily reversed. Isaias and his puppet Abiy Ahmed have bombed and looted our Tigray back to Stone Age. The two critical acts that I say every Tigrayoid will fight. Every Tigrayoid will fight them locally and internationally. Courts as a war crime carried with immunity. That they have to know. They committed genocide. Mass graves are waiting for international organization to investigate and document. And this is what we are demanding, that the truth has to be told. There is this systematically looted monasteries where the Ethiopian church kept its scared, invaluable ancient script books, as you guys know. With books linked to historical facts. That's what it is. One of the manifestation who we are as a Tigrayans. This act was well planned, intentional theft to deny our Tigray permanence in Ethiopian history in order to sharpen his obsession that Eritrea was the primary set of ancient civilization in the Horn of Africa. This is what he's doing. By stealing those ancient scripts, he's going to try to deceive that Eritrea is the backbone or historical artifacts. They bombed even the holy site Muslim, Al-Nagashi. That too was systematically looted and left bare empty. They took everything. In order to appease his master across the Red Sea, he had submitted disgraceful act and pledged to repair the damage. We're going to fix it. How could you fix it? All those stolen artifacts. We seriously doubt the UAE masters and funders are determined to hold Isaias accountable and demand that the looted artifacts that distinguish Nagash Mosque to be returned. I doubt. Isaias Afwerki gave his soldiers specific order to kill 16 years old and rape any girl under 12. You heard it. The outcome is I am accumulating Tagaru so that they will never wake up with their heads up. All this, the video images that we have seen, our sister, could be our daughter for most of us. Her private object has been used as a trash bag. else garbages as we have going to witness later on. And it makes me painful even to think about it. Astonishingly, Amhara diasporas in Washington, D.C. today and in previous times in Addis Ababa and Fanos in Gondar and Bahadar celebrated and parted when they heard the news. This remains in my heart. This is, of course, a generational assault that gets passed from parent to child. What had happened in Tigray today? Some ask, why did ethnic violence erupt in Bosnia 200 years ago, as we have witnessed? The simple answer is because of the atrocity like what we are witnessing in our Tigray. It's not about today. It's going to be also about our future. What happens through historical incidents from Menelik all the way Tigrayans has become victims. So I would say, let it be with Isaias and Abiy. There will be a marked man. And Tagara will never sleep until they are brought to justice one way or another, I'm sure. Because Isaias' intent was to wipe out Tigray from the face of the earth. And his accomplice, Abiy, has encircled his region, denied access to basic needs. We totally count on United Nations, EU, and Tigray Defense Forces and international action against them, while we focus on how to save maximum number of Tagaru from starvation and death. This is all about the show. And thank you. I think Mickey has an idea, and he can go from here.
All right. So, well, Mickey, thank you for joining us. I know that we were in a meeting earlier together, and then you had to jump to another meeting. So I don't even know how you surviving, but we appreciate you joining us, of course. So we're going to give you an opportunity, and then we're going to show a video after that, summarize it. But I want us to switch back to Tigrinya eventually, because I did promise the audience that we will be discussing in Tigrinya. So I guess for you, Mickey, is as a...
I could go either way, so no worries, don't worry.
all right. We're going to go have you in English right now. Yep.
Sure, no worries. I will add up a little bit on Barakat's...
let him say something in English for Mickey, and then start the Tigrinya.
Oh, no, we're not ready for Tigrinya. We're going to go, Mickey, you're going to go in English. We're going to show a video. We're going to continue in English. Then we're going to switch to Tigrinya.
Okay.
Sure, no problem. All good. Juggle it around. So we are, like multilinguals?
There you go.
I could try Ni hao, hao la, Chinese as well. So we should study those things, I think. As Tagars were becoming global, so that's an advantage for us. The Arabic-speaking population should say it in Arabic because the world must now. The English-speaking, the same thing. French, the same thing. In Canada, we have a bilingual nation. So French and English are the official languages. So our kids speak French as well. So last time we had, when we had a protest, we had both languages at the same time. So in English and French. So that's how we could reach out to the global audience. But to add up on Barakat's remark right now regarding the execution by the Ethiopian forces or Ethiopian and Eritrean forces against those young Tagarus. I think as young as 8 were in that group. There were just young kids, young boys. It's not even men we're talking about. So they are killing children. So it was on gunpoint execution. That's so excruciating. It's so sad to see as a population, not only us, even in the international population. It's sad that Ethiopia went down to this level in the eye of the world at the time with the UN and Security Council debating on the resolution to pass to press on withdrawing Eritrean forces and Amhara troops. So this is what is happening in Tigray. That's why we're shouting That is what we are asking for the United Nations, under United Nations, for the Security Council, and the US, European Union all together to act now, because those forces, those dark forces, those evil forces are executing massacring the whole population as well. So that amounts genocide. Unless we stop it right now, it's gonna get only worse and worse. This is like a Rwanda style. What they did to those young boys, not only killing them at the gunpoint, they're not even armed. They don't have nothing on them. They didn't even resist, imagine. So this is planned execution. That's what was happening in Rwanda back in the 1994. You call them the Interhamwes. We're executing all the Tutsis just like that. Imagine this is happening in the 21st century in Tigray. It is so sad. So the international community should see this image, should watch this image and react accordingly, humanly. No human being can even resist to see in their full eyes. But for those killers, for those executors, it was like what do you call them? It's like they were having fun. Imagine they were enjoying it. They were like hunting something. Even hunters cannot be joyful as they are. Imagine. So it is so sad, and so every Tigrayan is broken into pieces watching their kids executed in a mass killing, just like that, for nothing, because their crime and the only crime they have or they are is because they are Tagars. It is unfortunate. So the United Nations and the Security Council, all the member countries must watch those images, including that our sister, not only her, there are hundreds raped by group gang raping. 23 Eritrean soldiers raped one girl for 10 years non-stop. Imagine. Nothing can be evil than this. Not only that, what they did to her is beyond imagination, beyond human mind, and beyond human behavior. It is so sad. These people are already into the level of like a vampire. They are sadists. They enjoy at the pain of others. So this is what is happening in Tigray. The whole Ethiopian soldiers are executing people by mass. The Amhara militias are hunting people like animals. The Eritrean evil troops are killing people and burning villages like this. So the international community should open its eye and force Eritrea and the Amhara forces to withdraw from Tigray. And they have to do something. I think the US is going well, and including the member countries for the United Nations, under the United Nations for the Security Council, most of them would understand that. And we beg, or we ask the Chinese and the Russians, Indians, as responsible governments, they would, or they have to step up to say no. And they have to stop standing up behind those killers and be on the side of the victims, be on the side of genocide victims of the people of Tigray. So if they can do that, I think today we have, later today, there is another meeting, another resolution to pass. So they should understand the magnitude of the evil act the Ethiopian government and Eritrean government altogether are doing in Tigray. So it was so sad, it was bad, but for the Tigrayans, young Tigrayans, all the Tagars abroad should stay strong. We should fight back to death. Otherwise, we cannot survive. They are doing the same what the Nazis did to the people of Jewish or people of Israel. These people are doing the same as the Interhamwes, what they did to the Tutsi population in Rwanda. History is repeating itself. So the international community should understand. It is responsible. Just not even intervening itself is a crime. Not stopping a killer is a crime itself. Ignoring the issue, ignoring genocide itself is a crime. So we all should press on that, and the international community should stand on the side of Tigray. Then everybody, or the criminals, has to be brought to justice. Justice must be served. Thank you.
Thank you, Mickey. Well said. So I asked Ephraim this earlier, and they both, they both had an opportunity to describe quite a bit of things that we discussed. So before I show the clip, I have to warn everybody, but I have a question for you, Mickey. Those of you who are following us, if you have children with you, I'm going to try to put another screen over like a little bit here and there, but the clip that I'm going to show you eventually is very graphic. But Mickey, for you, um, when you were a fighter, you know more than anybody, and Ephraim as well, and those who fought. And there's many former fighters, Tagaru, who have taken bullets basically, but survive, and who are all over the world now. Some of them are here in Washington and California and whatnot. And I talk with them on a regular basis, and it's emotional and painful for them to see these kind of videos, but also to just process it, what's going through in Tigray, because when they and you guys were fighters, like, we thought Mengistu was bad, but what's happening today is so beyond describable. How are you feeling personally yourself? Like, how are you like able to function this? I know it's painful. I get it. I don't want to like minimize that, but the fact that, this afternoon, like, I was in that same meeting that you were in, and then you had to go to another meeting, and then you have to like work, you have to like live life. And I mean, how are you juggling all of this while you also are out supporting the community to bring justice for Tagaru throughout the Tigray region, of course? But for us to be able to function this way, there's many of us, our brothers and sisters, particularly our sisters, our mothers in the diaspora. They're like, I mean, Mickey, like, I don't need to explain it to you, but I want to like say this to the audience so they understand it. It is the most painful and a very dark day. Yesterday's clip from the execution that we saw, the mass execution, to the young woman video that we're going to show, it's like beyond describable. Like, I want to ask you personally, you yourself, how are you handling it?
Well, it is, like you said, it's very painful for all of us. Of course, not only painful, it's heartbreaking, actually. It goes to the core of your body, your being, actually, as a person. I would never imagine this kind of law, this kinds of criminal or dark minds live in Ethiopia. I wonder how Tigray lived 3,000 years with this kind of evil thinking kind of society. Not only the whole, well, it's not the whole population, but as a system, as an elite. And what makes it worse is they enjoy that. Imagine. They don't even feel remorse to that. That's what kills me. Not only that, when I see this image, I feel bad for the girl. Of course, that breaks my heart. Well, I feel it's me, of course, because she's one of us. But not only that, there are thousands, maybe, well, hundreds, maybe thousands, that never been recorded, that never been reported. Imagine if this girl was killed or executed after what they did to her, we wouldn't know this. And there are so many of them that we did not get a chance to see, to share their pain. This girl represents half of the population of Tigray, which is 4 million women. This girl represents the whole population of Tigray, 8 million people. It's not only her. It attacks us. It hurts us all to the core. We feel as if it is us. Of course it is us. So I could not imagine, but the only way we can do is cope with what is happening. We have to adjust with the situation. Imagine, if that wasn't the case, we wouldn't see the people of Israel live until today. 6 million people were gassed to death by the Nazi Hitler, imagine. But they survived it. Why? They look beyond today. They look to the rest of the population. They look the future. They have hope, at least. So we can change and we can live is what is driving us. So we could be everywhere because we have to save more girls, more young people from death, more young people from execution, more young girls from rape. So that's what drives me. well, keeps me going. But to all of us, of course, as Tagar, it is very dangerous. It is very bad even to see it. It might bring emotional problems. It might bring depression, maybe beyond that. But this is happening. So we have to stand up and fight back. If we cannot fight back, then we cannot save more victims. That's the thing. But like you asked me, I was a Tagadalai. I was back with TPLF in the days. I never, well, that government was as cruel, as evil as what we have today. They are the kids of those people, or some of them, they are still alive. Those are who are behind all these atrocities in Tigray. Isaias was in the jungle, the same thing. But I now, at one point, I remember I heard 7 soldiers, Derg soldiers, raped one girl, and she died. Because the soldiers, you see, they live in the jungle, whatever, in the baraka, all that stuff, so they never have any interaction, or they never had any intercourse with other women before that. But once they did to this girl, it was toxic to her. And she died as a result. Imagine. I heard that one, but now the worst is not only the rape itself is the worst crime you could hear in the world, but what they did to her private part, which is staffing with all the metals, all that stuff, is beyond imagination. So I never dreamed, I never thought, I never expected this would happen. But we saw the deepest or the darkest side of our enemies that the world should not endure, should condemn, should stand up with us to destroy these people or to bring them to justice for justice. So this is what I would think. But, well, we have to survive it and we have to keep going. Otherwise, we cannot win this war. Otherwise, we cannot save the rest of this population. So this is what drives us. Keep going. You, him, her, everybody. So we have to fight. That's the only way we have. Thank you.
I agree. Thank you. So before we show that clip again, I'm going to actually show you guys a 2-minute video of the Secretary
Some
of State.
people might have a hard time to see it. So tell them it's very graphic and they have to
so we're gonna
stay away.
yeah, we're gonna jump on that one. So before we get there, we have moments. I'm just giving them a heads up.
As well, so
yeah. So the Secretary of State today was speaking on C-SPAN about the crisis in Tigray, of course, and here is what he had, his answers to the subcommittee.
And finding a way forward that meets their interests and avoids conflict. And I think we can use our good offices to help do that. So that's the way we're approaching it. The challenge in Ethiopia is very significant, and it's one that we're very focused on. Particularly the situation in Tigray, where we are seeing very credible reports of human rights abuses and atrocities that are ongoing. And I've been on the phone on several occasions now with Prime Minister Abiy of Ethiopia. I've talked to other leaders in the region and on the continent and beyond. I very much understand the concern, for example, that the Prime Minister had about the TPLF and its actions, but the situation in Tigray today is unacceptable and has to change. And that means a few things. It means making sure that we're getting into the region, into Tigray, aid workers and others, humanitarian assistance, to make sure that the people are cared for, provided for, and protected. And it's very important that the government follow through on commitments that it's made.
Do you envision peacekeepers?
At this point, we have 2 other challenges that go to the security piece. One is we have, as you know, forces from Eritrea that are there, and we have forces from an adjoining region, Amara, that are there. They need to come out. And a force that will not abuse the human rights of the people of Tigray or commit acts of ethnic cleansing, which we've seen in Western Tigray, that has to stop. We also need full accountability. We need to get an independent investigation into what took place there. And we need some kind of process, a reconciliation process, so that the country can move forward politically. Prime Minister
Sorry, guys. We're losing Mickey, but I'm going to try to bring him on. There you go. Okay. Go. Go, Gary. All right. There you go. We got you back. Sorry. So clearly, like, I appreciate the U.S. government taking these steps and initiatives, especially given that the new administration just took office recently, January 20th. It is complicated, obviously, but the U.S. government, personally, I feel they're making a lot of progress, but we feel frustrated given everything that's happening. With that being said, quickly, before I let you guys take turns and have your say on that video, I want to remind the followers here, the listeners, particularly those of you from California, okay? Californians, Tagaru Californians. The congresswoman, the African American congresswoman you saw on that C-SPAN, we need to write her letters. We need to email her. We need to call her. Okay? While she is the chairwoman, I'm concerned her attitude towards the genocide, the crisis in Tigray, because she's not as powerful as we want her to be when there's 4.5 million Tagaru in need of immediate humanitarian assistance. That's not what she's showing. So I'm concerned about her attitude. So I want you guys, the residents of California, to overwhelm her office with respectful letters, respectful emails, respectful phone calls, demanding you, as her constituent, she must be more aggressive towards women's rights, human rights in Tigray. I mean, as simple as that. But please, when you do so, be respectful, because yes, we are angry, we are frustrated. I get it, guys and ladies, but that is not what's going to solve our problems. Okay, so please understand that a diplomatic approach is our solution. The reason we have been successful so far bringing this atrocity to the reasonable and decent humans around the globe is because many of you have voiced out on the street and social media. And yes, Abiy Ahmed is literally choking now regularly, almost peeing on his pants, because he's never imagined this many Tagarus will unite in the diaspora. And Mr. Barakat earlier mentioned there's more of you Tagaru who are behind the curtain. Get out. Get out of that curtain. Fight for Tagaru. Speak for Tagaru. Stand for Tagaru. Not physical fight. Do the actual fight, proper fighting. So, Ephraim, I'm going to let you jump in, and then we're going to go to Mr. Barakat, and then we're going to go to Mickey.
Okay, thank you. I mean, I think you have said it well, and as my brother Mickey and my brother Barakat stated, the problem right now is it's not about the rape. You know, the problem I'm thinking is right now the recovering from sexual assault takes time, and the healing process can be very, very, very painful. Our people, the recovery, it doesn't matter regardless of age or gender. We know the impact of sexual violence goes beyond in physical injuries. You know, the trauma of being raped or sexually assaulted is shattering, leaving our Tagar women feeling scared now. You know, they are very ashamed, and they are alone, and they are living in nightmares, the flashback and other unpleasant memories. You know, the world does not feel like a safe place anymore for our girls and women of Tigray. That's the thing, you know. You know, you are a sociologist, Mickey. You know, They no longer trust other people. Even they're not going to trust us. Their own men, their own Tigray people. After this kind of rape happened, they cannot even trust themselves and have no way of keeping away from those Eritreans and Ethiopians armed force. Psychologically, their judgment, self-worth, and sanity are no longer there. How could you expect them to have it? They may blame themselves for what happened, or believe they are dirty or damaged goods, relationship feel dangerous, intimacy impossible. You know what I mean? Our Tagaru, rape survivors will struggle with multiple problems from now on. You name it. You can say post-traumatic stress disorder. You can call it like anxiety. They may have some depression. They may be like, very vulnerable for suicide. We stand up for them. This very moment until those rape and war crime are put to the end. Eritrean troops needs to go out of Tigray now. There is no way. They cannot be there. They don't belong in Tigray. They have no business in Tigray. Not only the Eritrean troops, but also the Amhara militia and the Ethiopian army. We don't need them anymore. We saw them already. I was talking about the Ethiopian army. It's okay, but I've seen them yesterday video. Like brother Mickey said it. They're enjoying it. They are hunting a bird or they are hunting something. They were killing innocent young youths, Tigrayans. For sure now, rape has occurred conclusively and without a doubt. Even though they say it was, we had like 108, multiple of them. The country ministry of women, the president is woman, the ministry of peace is woman. They are not women. They are evils. So further investigation will show the magnitude of those accounts of sexual assaults in a region of some 6 million people that remains largely cut off from the world. Our women and girls continue await investigation of those horrible crimes. I'm telling you, that committed on them. Those are no definitive number of extent to how many have been raped or killed by those Eritreans in Ethiopian armed forces. So far, Ethiopian Human Rights Commission, a new report, what did they say last time? 108 only, but multiple of them are already raped. We've seen them. They even put some objects in their vagina. How painful is it? So it's not about raping, but the consequences of rape is going to be the population of Tigray is going to be very scared now. All people are scared. All people are suffered. Malnutrition, rape, killings, murder, everything, the whole region. Not even like in one place or something. It's the entire region. Evils are all over. Myself, I had a very bad nightmare last night. I couldn't able to sleep. This is what happens to us. We are already drained out mentally, emotionally, everything. What are the people waiting for? Where is the world? Are we waiting until the entire people is gonna die? The entire region? They are already using sulfur. Sulfur. What do they call it? He was using sulfur from the airstrike. I was told. So, I don't know. It's just sometimes I feel like I'm in a different I don't know. Like Mickey brother said it already earlier. The last 300,000 or whatever. Are we? I don't know how we've been living with those people. How could they're not even like saying something, oh, we've seen this video and this government is not doing law and order. We need to make sure that the Tigray people is safe. We just need is the people who committed crime when they were in power. If they are looking for Debrecen, if they are looking for Siyum Masfin, if they are looking for somebody else, they just need to look for someone who is already committed crime before, not the entire Tigray people.
So I know we are very emotional. I have to shorten you guys a little bit because I want to manage time a little bit better. We got
All right.
still a couple segments to finish up in English, and then I wanted to switch to Tigrinya. So if I could ask you respectfully, Mr. Barakat, like in about 2 minutes, if you want to just say your thoughts on this. I'm going to go to the clip earlier that I talked about, but I also want to give Mickey a chance after you so I don't get myself in trouble jumping people. So please, Mr. Barakat.
Thank you, Mike. Every nail, every object that penetrates on her body, I feel the pain. It is slicing my soul, my heart, my being. It is about human decency. Those animals who are lower than animals with a lower IQ, I will never imagine a human being will commit such atrocity, such unimaginable, beyond and above. I never thought in my mind this will happen to a human being. Those are subhuman with a feeble mind and matured. And the reason is it's clear for us for obvious reasons. Because they know they are not going to win us in a battlefield. They know that. Because we have never lost throughout history. I mean, I'm not bragging. This fact is fact. You tell me in history where Tigray has lost a war. Never been. Actually, the glory what the Ethiopians are proud of is the sweat and the blood of Tigrayans who kept this, what you call Ethiopia, who has built on lies and deception. That we never been benefited. Our history has been a glory of the Menelik and the likes of it, Mahal Safari, what you call them all. Think about as Johannes, just an example. Alula, he died in defending the people who are fighting against us. I mean, look at, they could not even keep their territory from Sudan. Johannes lost his life defending Gondar, Matama, the one that they seems to give it easily to handed it over without any fight for the Sudanese army. But the point that I like to make here is simple. Why? What did we done to them to inflict such damage on our women, on our children? Why? We live in the 21st century. And those people, they live in 21st century with a barbaric mind. They might have some clothes of 21st century, but their mind and their thinking is not with the norms and the standard of the 21st century. Simple as that. Yeah, we have every reason to be mad because this is not what we expect. But also, such atrocity, they think it's going to put us to some mission, but actually it is counterproductive. For Tigrayans, such atrocity will even make us mad and try to fight and restore what is right in our place in 21st century. This is not going to happen, and we are not going to allow it to happen. And the new generation is not going to allow it to happen. And this sister, she will be the embody of who we are. As I said earlier, the nails is punching my soul and my heart. Makes me mad, but also it makes me to fight more than ever before. And that is the spirit of all Tigrayans. They think it's going to kneel down and cave in for our demand, which is rightly so. The things that we fight to vote and elect our representative, to exercise our freedom, those are not going to be negotiable at any cost. That's what we fought for a Derg to win, and this is not going to be exception either. We'll fight for our freedom. We'll fight for who we are. And the struggle will continue. No matter how much they try to dice and bury the truth, actually Ethiopia, in a diplomatic circle, it's necked. The leader who is in Ethiopia now, we can agree or disagree how big Ethiopia is. That's the current PM who expires his mandate is not as big enough as Ethiopia to govern. Ethiopia is governed by a little man who have no clue. He deceived the world. He got Nobel Prize, but he's using it to silence the Tigrayan people. And the world has to wake up. Enough is enough. And also, I like to remind my fellow Tigrayans who are making excuses about TPLF. This is not about TPLF. This is about Tagaru. This is about Tigray Defense Force, who is fighting for the soul of our nation and the soul of our survival. Please join. Let us voice. You see the videos on social media, what's happening to Tagaru from 8 to adult with no of their own faults. The only fault is they are being Tagaru. If this doesn't prompt you to join with your brothers, then you are not a Tigrayan at all. So my message is clear. Let's work and unite together to fight such atrocities that's being committed to our brothers and sisters and to our nation. Thank you, Mike. You are on mute, Mike.
That helps. Thank you. So I'm going to let Mickey for you to go next.
I will add up just 1 minute, so I will make it short. I think this penetrates into our soul, but one thing that needs to be addressed and needs to be stressed is our enemies are doing these things purposely. One, it might look like at the level of the soldiers, they're trying to satisfy their perverted sexual desire, but the underlying that Isaias and Abiy are giving assignment to the soldiers is to humiliate the people of Tigray. and let them know, or what they have to understand is this will never humiliate us. This will never put us down. This will never break us apart. Instead, their atrocities, their cruelty will make us stronger, will make us defiance, will make us hate them, will make us divorce them, will make us united. So we will become more stronger and fight back to death until they die. So we'll kill death by death. So the people of Tigray are not like sticks that you can break them just like that. There are 3,000 years history that the Tagars fight back. That's why that Ethiopia kept as a free nation in the world. That never been colonized, that never been enslaved. It is at the cost of Tagar. But we never break up, or we never break down. Menelik did the same internally. Our forefathers never failed. They kept fighting. They kept fighting. Kadamai Wayana, as we call it, during Haile Selassie, the same thing happened. We get up and fight back. The second Wayana, during Derg did the same. Bombarded our cities, raped our girls, killed our boys. But did they break us apart? No. Instead, we broke them apart. So we are the winners. Because what is being done, what they are doing to us, is what makes us stronger, what makes us fight back, what makes us united. So we're not crying here. We are defying. So this is what we have to underline. So we cannot cry as Tagars now. It's not time to even grieve or to cry. It is a time to be united, to stand up firmly and fight those evil forces for good, destroy them, then come up with a new Tigray that will respect you, that will treat you like human being with dignity, that we can be us for us. And enough should be enough. As Tagars, we must stay strong. We must stay defiant. We should not fail. This cannot break our spirit. Instead, it should make us keep going and fight those people. Our forces are fighting on the ground. We are helping and we're fighting on the other front, which is in diplomacy. And we are the winners and we will prevail. There is no question. Evil is evil. We're fighting evil versus good. We are the good ones, and those killers, those rapers, those genociders are the evil ones. Should not be allowed to live. They are the cancer of the East Africa. They are the cancer of Ethiopia. They are the cancer of Eritrea. This cancer has to be cut off and be destroyed. That's the only way we could do, and we're going to fight it, and we're going to prevail. So we should not bow down, and we should not break down into slavery. We should fight back and come out as a winner and as a victor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mickey. So before I go into the video that I want to show, once again, I have to warn each and every one of you. In the meantime, as you prepare for me to show that not this video, but this is not a video, this is a screenshot. I want to show you guys what the evil Amhara who supports the devil did today. This is from today. So tell me, is this represent Ethiopian flag here? No, that's the Amhara and the Amhara militia flag. And then yet they have the audacity to put Eritrean flag next to the Amhara. So what is it telling you? Basically, two killers joining together saying, don't interfere in Ethiopia's internal affair. Guess what? They just said it right there. They want so Eritrea's interference in inside Ethiopia and Tigray is okay, but when America speaks, saying like, "Wait a minute, this is not domestic issue. This is internationalized by having Eritrean troops, Amhara militia, Somalians." It wasn't until about a month and a half or two ago that the drones from the United Arab Emirates stopped bombing. So for those of you who are coming in here commenting, saying there's no this, there's no that, give me a favor, do a reality check. We as Tagaru, like Mickey say, you will never divide us. Tagaru United will never be divided. That's right. So on Saturday in LA at 1 p.m. West Coast time, that's Pacific Standard Time, we're going to put together one of the largest protesting groups in the West Coast, that is in the Western United States of America, to show you. We're going to have famous celebrities that we've been asked not to mention their names right now. So for those of you who have the opportunity to join us, Cyber Power of Tigray will be live in LA on Saturday, 1 p.m., to air the demonstration to stop the genocide, the evil act, and those who support evil. Okay? And that's exactly what I see in this crowd. Of course, there are enough evils around to have the audacity to support such action. So, again, the next video that I'm going to show, I'm going to try to cover some of it, but not the entirety of it. So please, if you can't handle emotionally, if you're too disturbed because what you already maybe saw yesterday, this is graphic. This is a young lady who was raped by 23 Eritrean troops. Then they left her with nails, plastic bags, and whatnot. So I'm going to try to do my best to cover most of it, but it's not going to be perfect. So if you have children, this is a time to pause. This is a time for you perhaps to take a moment. It's going to take at least like close to 3 minutes. I'm going to try to make it shorter, obviously, but please be warned. We don't want to traumatize you, and most of you already have been traumatized. So please, I'm lingering it because I'm giving an opportunity. So here we go. Sorry, I know I wasn't going to do that great, but those are the nails. So these are the two nails they just pulled out. Imagine, from a human being. Just think about this, from a human being. And these are the protesters supporting this. Just think about it for a moment as a human being. Okay? As a human being. Two nails pulling out of a human being. It's too graphic for me to even describe the entirety of it. But that's what happened. Okay? That's what happened. And what happened next is even worse. Rolls and rolls of papers are pulled from her body. So how could you just tell me? How could you sit here and tell me that this kind of atrocity, this kind of evil act is normal? What kind of person are you? Would you accept this? If you're an Eritrean supporting what's happening right now, and this happened to your sister, to your mother, to your daughter, would you allow it? Would you be okay with it? If you're an Amhara, this happens to your own mother, sister, someone that you care for, that someone you love, would you be okay with that? Would you be okay with that? I mean, this is insane, guys. This is sick. Seriously. And it's just too much. It's too much. I'm like, so this is what they're pulling like out. This is the stuff they're pulling out of her. This is like the stuff that was stuffed up in her. Like, this is the stuff they're pulling from her body. Just imagine. Imagine. if you like a human being, think about it. Think about it. The stuff that they pulled out of her body. It's not one object, it's not one item, it's just multiple. So, you know, I'm sorry that I didn't have it edited properly, obviously, but you didn't see the whole content of it. I did my best to do what I can. I didn't even know what to say.
We don't have any words to explain the graphic
It is beyond
imagery
human imagination.
and the horror that she's experiencing. I mean, look at it. She's so young. What she had gone through. If it is bad enough to watch this graphic, what about her? Inflicting those pains every second of her life. And also, the future, her youth, is taken by those coward, brainless, senseless animals. They don't have and they don't deserve to be treated like a human being. They are by design or by fault animals or a systematic victim of a system that went wrong. One way or another, what it reminds me is we have a lot of ways to go, a lot of things to be done. We are dealing with animals, not a human being. That's what we want the world to witness, what we are talking about. It's not that we like to see such injustice being perpetuated on our daughter and sister, but the world has to know. That's the purpose of our show. Those people who call themselves Fanos, Amhara Militia, Ethiopian Defense Forces, Eritrean mercenaries are a different kind of breed that know that they don't have any regard for humanity. And such precedents, what we witness in Tigray, it could happen somewhere else. We want to stop that madness. It is bad for humanity. It is bad everywhere. Such a display, really, as I said earlier, it slices my body. Every nail that comes out, I feel it still. It penetrates me physically and emotionally. But also, it's a good reminder for many of us. Those are a different breed who have no regard for life that the world had to witness. They are totally different. I mean, we see the brutality of ICE. We see the brutality of many, but we have never come across such, body, a private body, a private part of a woman, a young woman, after she'd been raped by 23 Eritrean soldiers, being used as a trash can and to put every debris they can get around. I don't know what are they thinking. And it's clear what they are thinking is to, inflict so much psychic damage on people of Tigray, especially on the young ones. One thing that I am certain, they don't know who we are. I think they underestimated what we are Tagaro as capable of. When we see such atrocity being committed, not alone on our citizens, even for all nationalities of Ethiopia, we fight, we try to emancipate them from such atrocity that's being committed. I mean, in Gandar, in Hamar region, people are being deprived the basic necessity of, their being. They've been slaved for life in many ways that you cannot find in any civilized. So, yes, all the lie and the deception is coming to an end. All the atrocity is being looked in naked eyes of the Western world. As I say, this is only the tip of the iceberg. When the free journalists have access, unfettered access, we're going to see more that will shock the whole world. That we are living in a very primitive, surrounded by primitive people and primitive mind. We don't deserve to be there, to be honest, after I have seen this graphic. How did we exist for centuries, even, to intermingle, to be part of this society? I am ashamed of myself to call myself an Ethiopian. Let them take it. I am a proud Tigrian, and all of us should be. So for those people who make excuses of this and that, this is all about who we are. And ashamed for those people who are demonstrating, supporting this liar regime who is inflicting such atrocity beyond and above anybody's imagination. Ethiopians who has been demonstrating in Washington, D.C. with the Eritreans, they should be ashamed of themselves. This is not about politics. This is about humanity. We are playing fire with humanity, living in a comfort zone of the Western world. And this Western privilege should not be used to support such cruel regimes of Isaias and Abiy. And we should question them. And we have every right to do so. This is not about opinion. This is not about political freedom of exercise to demonstrate. It is about humanity. Our humanity is at crossroad. So really, I have nothing to say except that we have to fight more. We are dealing with a different brand of people.
So I know it's emotional time. I'm gonna try and ask you guys respectfully to be shorter because we still have a Tigrinya segment that I want to cover. So Ephraim, I'm gonna come to you. I don't want us to repeat what Mr. Baraka just covered, but I'm reading some of the comments. So some of the people who are commenting, actually, I personally know them. As a woman, as a mother, the pain that they're sharing with us on this chat versus what I've heard personally, it's painful. So, and you mentioned Ephraim earlier, from psychological aspect of it, this is so many of our Tagada women in Tigray, the atrocity they're living with, what we show in that video is just one of the many that's been captured. But there are so many untold stories throughout the villages of Tigray. So I want to make sure people understand what we see in this video. There's also other videos out there, or some who actually didn't get the opportunity to be captured on video, or like you said earlier, they're so ashamed, they're so embarrassed of this such atrocity that they won't come out publicly, or they're just simply being killed once they are doing whatever they're doing to them. and I'm being like a little bit vague because it's painful. So my question for you, Ephraim, is for some of the people that feels that they feel defeated. Not they're not saying Tigray defeated, but emotionally they feel defeated because it's painful. What with them? What support can you provide and offer from the fighting perspective as a fighter to those who I see feel based on this video? They feel like hopeless. They feel helpless. So I'm trying to switch it into positivity. Oh, you got to unmute.
Sorry. Uh, as you all know, the Ethiopian officials have they never say the truth. They are always deceive and they lie and publicly denied allegations of rape and other abuses. Interim head of the Tigray Social Affairs Department, Abraham Destawa, whatever, he did not even respond for requests for comments such like this, and even the others, yeah, Dr. Naga, whatever. Those are betraying Tigray people. They are from Tigray, but they are betrayed our people. In closed door meetings in Makala last time, I don't know if you guys remember, Muna Ahmed, something, the deputy federal minister for women affairs, said the government had recorded 113 rape cases in the Tigray conflict. But is it really that much only? We heard from the UN World Food Program, the Ethiopian government had agreed to increase access for food aid, and then the humanitarian organization said armed groups have looted and took all the medical supplies, whatever I said earlier. And then after that, when we've trying to find out a few days after some people are coming to the hospital, they were intimidated by some people that we don't know. A few days after, if you remember Merhawit spoke to Times reporter uh, for their article, and she received a phone call from unknown number. The caller knew she had accused Eritrean soldiers of rape, and her therapist said he warned her not to tell her story again. So there are a lot of women out there that they've been raped and they feel ashamed. They don't want to come up. They don't want to go there. They wanted to kill themselves instead. They wanted to do suicide instead because they are already, after you got raped, the mental problem is like, post-traumatic distress, depression, and all that. When you are depressed, you don't see anything. You cannot communicate with people. You don't want to see people. You stay on the darkness. You don't want to report your issues. Even if for those who brave, they came to the hospital and they told their story, they are calling them. They are getting warning from unknown because they are already there. They control the entire region. So my recommendation for Tigray people, it doesn't matter woman or man or boy uh, or whatever, everyone needs to go and join our government, the Tigray government, who are fighting. The Britain is fighting for his own country, for his own, for Tigray, and others are still fighting. There is no way to compromise or to discuss with Eritrean government because Eritrean government is a killer. He killed his own people. No one is in that country. No youth, no young men. They fled their country already. He killed them. They were trying to come to Ethiopia in the past. He was killing them. So Abiy is the same. He's not going to have a good government in Tigray. So my recommendation is We have done this before. They try to kill us. They try to destroy us. And Miki Tigray already said it earlier. We brought them apart. We didn't get. We united. We get strong when they kill us, when they abuse us. So I'm recommending, my suggestion is still to fight those people, Eritrean troops and Amhara militia and Ethiopian army, to get rid of from our place, from our motherland, Tigray. Tigray will prevail. Considerina, Maratina, Miklastrahi. We just need us to go to struggle and fight back. There is no any other solution. Everyone needs to go now and fight them back. That's it.
Which then we'll jump right into you, Mickey. You can start with English, but we're going to switch to Tigrinya.
Sure, I will make it short. I think the issue is what is this protest in DC? Imagine those protesters in DC combined with those who supports Eritrean troop or Eritrean invasion, and in Ethiopia who supports the Amhara militia and Abiy Ahmed as a butcher. It is unfortunate. Most of those people who were on the protest probably have daughters and most likely have sisters. And surely they have mothers. Imagine, I challenge them, if they are human beings, human enough to understand that, if that happens to their mama, if that happens to their kids or daughters, if that happens to their wife or sister, how would that feel? But once when you are insane and lunatic, this kind of despicable act is nothing. It's like the horror movie kind of vampires that you could see, bloodsuckers. So these are criminals. I think we should go after them. We should sue each and every one of them. That, you know, the face there, combined and take a picture of this girl and take them to court. Those who support genocide are the same as criminals as those who are perpetrated it or acted. Who those kept quiet are at the same time criminals. But we could go after these people. We should fight them back. They got a gut to fight us more, to rape us more, to do harm more. And we should stand up to fight them back. That's the only way out, and that's the only way we have. But as Tagars, like Ephraim said, like Barakat said, the only option we have is to fight them back. You cannot negotiate, you cannot compromise with evil. So this evil has to be broken apart, and Tigray should prevail. Tigray should be free. To be free, we should be free from those evil and dark forces. Hard to even imagine, not to live with them, but I could not even look back how I lived with these people. It is unfortunate, not necessarily the whole population of Ethiopia or the whole population of Eritrea, but the ruling elite is infected and worse than the evil that we know in theory. So these are the Nazists that sucks blood, and these are sadistics that enjoys pain. So they should be sued. They live in the free nation in the United States. They live in the free nations of the Western countries. And yet they are supporting these atrocities. They are at the same time criminals as those, the same as those who are committing that crime. So we should go after them and sue them. And at the same time, we have to fight back. And we have to fight side by side as Tagars. We should defy, we should stand firm, we should fight to death to liberate ourselves. We cannot afford to be enslaved under those pig mentalities. Even pigs, even animals would not rape their own counterparts. Can you imagine? They don't. But these people did it anyways, and they will do it anyways. The only way, cut them off. And the way out, be free. And the way to fight them back. Thank you.
Mickey, on talaha. Tash Minigwar. So, but those of you who's been following us, thank you so much. We're going to switch into Tigrinya now. I'm going to monitor your questions on the screen. I'm going to ask them back into Tigrinya, and if you are having a hard time following us, we can briefly come back, but now we're going to just focus on Tigrinya. So አሁን ተለሃዝወልኩም ሚኪ ሕፅር እናበልና ኩልና ክንመላለሰሉ ጥያቄታት ዘሎ በእንግሊዝኛ በደንብ ከበር ስለዝገበርናዮ እቲ ቪዲዮ ከም እንደገና ከርእዮ አይደለኹን እና ግን እስቲ አሁን ተለና እቲ ናይቲ ግፍዒ ናይ ሓፍትና ተሰርሐ ብደቂ ኣንስትዮ ምክንያት ክርአን ከሎ እዚዩ እዘን ኣምሓሩ ኣብዚ ዋሽንግተን ዲሲ ወፅአን ሰላማዊ ዝገበራ ምሶም በዓለገታት ኣምሓሩ እንታይ ዓይነት ኣዶታት እየን እንታይ ዓይነት ውላድ እየን ክዕብያ ዝደልያ እንታይ ዓይነት ሰብ እዮም እዚኦም ከምዚ ገይሮም ህዝቢ እናተሓረደ ደቂ ኣንስትዮ ብጎረቤት ሃገር በኢትዮጵያውያን ጥራይ ዘይኮነስ ብጎረቤት ሃገር ተቀረዮም ጽዮም ኤርትራውያን ፈተውተ ኮኑ ዘምአዱ ግዜያቶም ኢሳያስ ዝወለ ቅድሚ ሒዚ ምሶም ሓረስ ኢሉ እንኳን ክንነብር ሓቢርና ክንልም እንኳን ሓቢርና ክንነብር ሓቢርና እኳ ብሓደ ኣይክንልምን ኣይንኽእልን ኢሉ ተዛረወ በስባስ እዮም ባንዴራ ናይ ሻዕብያ ወንከ ናይ ሕግደፍ ባንዴራ ገይሮም ዝዛረቡ ዘለው እስቲ ናተስታያት ሕፅረ ቢልካ እናትግፍዕሲ እንታይ ዓይነት ካብ እንስሳ ዝበኣሳ ኣምሓሩ ደቂ ኣንስትዮ እየን ተፈጢረን ኣብ ኢትዮጵያ ንዝግሙት ንምፍላጥ እስቲ ኣቕርበልና
Thank you, Mike. ጽቡቕ ሕቶ እዩ እንታይ እቲ ክሕሰብ ዘለዎ ይመስለካ I think Isaias ከም ኢሉ ይኮነን ቅድሚ ሕዚ well he was wrong he's one of those so he's even worse than those imagine that human eating pig that could eat his own people then now destroying Tagaru na we you have to እንግሊዘኛ አትረስ እንዴ I'm Canada. Listen, of course, I have to course the law ይመስል እሱ ያ ማይክ ዘደናግረና ዘለ ትግርኛ እንግሊዘኛ
አዋሲ ዱካት
ዘገርም እዩ ኣብ ካናዳ ሲ imagine that is possible ድማ ዘገርም ነገር ኣብ ካናዳ ሓደ ጠቅላይ ሚኒስተር ክኸውን ተኮይኑ እንግሊዘኛን ፈረንሳይኛን ግድን ክኽእል ኣለዎ ስለዚ ዘረባ ክገብር ከሎ he juggles back and forth look at this ሰለስተ ላይን ወይ ሓደ ፓራግራፍ በእንግሊዘኛ ዘረብ እንደገና ከሙዮም ዝገብሩ ዘገርም ነገርና probably ነው
አረ ከማለ የሆነ ፍሬም በቃ ጃግል ክንገወረላ ትግርኛ እንግሊዘኛ ለየ ደጋግመ
exactly we could do it because our audience are all over so we could do it that way switch now እንታይ ክብል ደልየ I know እንታይ ክብል ደልየ ወላ በአማርኛው ከሐውሰን خلينا እነዚህ ሰዎች just በስተኛ ናቸው ነው that's the thing ማሰብ ያለብን ዲሲ ላይ ነው ሰልፍ የተደረገው ወይ imagine ቅድም ያየነው ግራፊክ ምስል 23 የሻዕቢያ ወታደሮች ደፍረዋት ሲያበቁ ለ10 ቀን ነው በተከታታይ look at that 10 ቀን ከደፈረዋት በኋላ ደግሞ ሚስማር ፕላስቲክ ባጎችና ሌሎች ነገሮችን ማህፀኗ ላይ ነው ከተቱት እስኪ ራሳቸውን ይጠይቁ ዛሬ ግን ሰላማዊ ሰልፍ ተዋለ የኤርትራ ባንዲራና የኢትዮጵያ ልሙጡ ባንዲራ ይህ ማለት የምኒልክ ልጆችና የኢሳያስ ልጆች how would you think ወይስ ኢትዮጵያ ሙታለች ነው እናንተ መልእክት ነው በትግራዋይ ሞት መጨፈር በትግራዋይ ሞት መደሰት የትግራዋይ ሞት እንዲቀጥል ሰልፍ የምትወጡ ከሆነ የትኛው ኢትዮጵያ ትቀጥላለች ነው እውነትስ ኢትዮጵያ ናችሁ ወይስ ኢትዮጵያስ የማዳን እቅድ አላችሁ ኢትዮጵያ በመስበር ማን ነው የሚኖረው አማርኛ ተናጋሪ ኦሮምኛ ተናጋሪ ሶማሊኛ ተናጋሪ ወይስ ማን ነው የሚኖረው ተልሚ ኢትዮጵያ የምትባለው ሀገር ለሁላችን በሁላችን የተሰራች ነች መሞትም ካለባት ለሁላችን ትሞታለች ነው ይህ ወንጀል ነው ወንጀል የሚሰራ ሰውን መደገፍ ሰው የሚገድል መንግስት መደገፍ ሰው የሚገድል ወታደር መደገፍ ልታፍሩ ይገባ ነበር እህት አለቻችሁ እናት አለቻችሁ ሚስት አለቻችሁ ሴት ልጅ አለቻችሁ look at this ቀላል ነበር ለመድፈር ግን አናረጋውም ነው ምንም ማለት አይደለም የትግራይ ሰራዊት እኮ ማድረግ ይችላል ነበር በየቀበሌው እየሄደ አያደርገውም ሰውኛ የተላበሰ ስለሆነ ነው ፍርሃት አይደለም ትህትናም አይደለም መንበርከክም አይደለም እኛ እዚህ የምንናገረው ማልቀስም አይደለም ቢ ሂዩመን ሰው መሆን እንዴት ያቅታችኋል ነው ሰው እንኳን ባትሆኑ ቢያንስ ጥሩ እኛ ሰው ነን ባሉ ሰው ያልሆኑትን የሚፈጽሙት ወንድሞቻችሁን የሚፈጽሙት ወታደሮቻችሁን የሚፈጽሙትን ማውገዝ እንዴት ያቅታል ለኔ በአማራ እናት ላይ ወይም በአማራ እህት ላይ የሆነው ማውገዝ ሰው መሆኔ በቂ ነው 16 17 ተማሪዎች ጠፍተዋል ሲባል እናቶቻቸው ሲያለቅሱ አብሬ ነው ያለቀስኩት ኢማጂን ይሄ በእናንተ ላይ ቢውልስ ወያኔስ ቢሆን ጠላታችሁ ነው አይደለም ወያኔ እንደዚህ አይነት ሴት ደፍሯል አይደለም አልደፈረም የወያኔ ትልቁ ስህተት እንደዚህ አይነት ውሾች እንደዚህ አይነት ጅቦች እንደዚህ አይነት ጨካኞች ከተደበቁበት ወጥተው በህዝብ ላይ ጭካኔ እንዲፈጽሙ መፍቀዱ ብቻ ነው እስር ቤቶቹ መጨመር ነበረበት ነው እውነት ነው ኢትዮጵያ መቀጠል ካለባት መሆን ነበረበት ብዬም አላምንም ምክንያቱም ትግራይ ከእንደዚህ አይነት ኢሰብአዊ ከእንደዚህ አይነት አውሬነት ከእንደዚህ አይነት ሰይጣንነት ጋር መኖር አለባት ብዬ አላምንም ትላንት ስለ ኢትዮጵያ ዘምሬያለሁ ስለ ኢትዮጵያ ሰርቻለሁ ስለ ኢትዮጵያ ታግያለሁ ዛሬ ላይ ተገደለ የሞተው ኢትዮጵያዊነት ነው የተደፈረው ኢትዮጵያዊነት ነው እቺ አንዲት ፍሬ የሆነችው ህፃን አይደለችም ሷማ ዞሮ መሞት ስመች ይቀራል ማለት አገር አይሞትም ህዝብም አይሞትም ያ ነበር መታሰብ ያለበት ያ ነበር መዳን የነበረበት ሆን ተብለው ግን በቁስል ላይ እንደገና ሌላ ጋሬጣ እንደመላክ ነው ይሄንን በመደገፍ ሰልፍ የምትወጡ አገር ያፈረሰ ያለው መንግስት በመደገፍ ሰልፍ የምትወጡ ደፋሪ ወታደር ገዳይ ወታደር በመደገፍ ሰልፍ የምትወጡ ሰዎች I think equally ወንጀለኞች ናቸው you should kill yourself እኔ በእንደዚህ ነው የማስበው ምክንያቱም you are insane you are lunatic you are perverted በዚህ ጎራ ካላችሁ ወይም በስተት የተሰባሰባችሁ ካላችሁ አገር ለማዳን አገር የሚድነው ሰው ሲድን ነው አገር ማለት ሰው ነው እንጂ መሬት አይደለም በጣም ያሳዝናል የትግራይ ህዝብ እያለቀሰ አይደለም ተንበርክኮ አይደለም እየታገለ ነው የሚታገለው ደግሞ ከእንደዚህ አይነት ሰይጣኖች ተገላግሎ ነፃ ሀገር መስርቶ አስቦት የማያቅ ብሎት የማያቅ ተገዶ በእናንተ ጭካኔ አገር ይመሰርታል ነፃነቱም ያረጋግጣል እናንተ ግን ሼም ኦን ዩ በእውነትም ማፈር ያለባችሁ ያሳዝናል በጣም ስለዚህ በዚህ ገልጸ ዝኸል ከም ተጋሩ ንሕና አንጻሮም ክንስለፍ ግድን ክኸውን ኣለዎ እዚኦም ክንኸሶም ክንኽለለና ሞት ቅትለት መድፈርቲ ምቅጻል ዝድግፉ እንተኾነ እንደንደ ያርጎና ፊኒሽ እዩ ስለዚህ ሁላትና ድምጽ ገይርና ኢንዲቪጁዋል ክንኸሶም ክንኽእለለና ብስራሕም ኸይድናውን ደብዳቤ ክንእተለና ንዚ ደግፉ ተሰሊፉ ኢልና fight back activity they do it እስራኤል ኮ ሓዳውን ኣስረም ወለው ይኮነ ሆናቱ ዝመስለ ስለዛረበ ንሶም ትግሬ ግደለ ይውል እንዲዮም ዘለው መን ኣሲርሞ ይፈልጥ we have to fight back ኣብዚና ክንጭክን ክንጅግን ዘለና ታይክ ተርፈና ስለዚህ ከም ተጋሩ I think ክንስበር ዘይኮነስ ክንጥንክር ክንብተን ዘይኮነስ ክንሓብር ክንምረኽ ዘይኮነስ ክንቃለስን ክንድምሰሙን ክንኽእለለና ጸለትና ፈሊና ምን ምዃኑ ጸላኢና ንፈልጥ ብሓቂ ከምዚ ዓይነት ጨምላቕ ነገር ግን ንዓና ንተጋሩ ታሪኽ ይኹናት ሰባት ስለዝኾንና ልዕልናና ናይ ስነልቦና ልዕልና ጥራሕ ዘይኮነስ ናይ ስብእና ልዕልናውን ኣረጋጊፅና ኣለና ማለት እዩ ተጠቅዕና ኢልና ልብና ክስበር የብሉን እንስሳታት እዮም ኢልና ግን ናትና ልዕልነት መረጋገፅ ምዃኑ ክንወስዶ ክንኽእለለና ቀይርና ናይ ስነልቦና ልዕልነትና ሰብኛና ሕዝውን ክቕነስ የብሉን እዩ ንሶም እናሓፈሩ እናዘቐጡ ይነብሩ ንሕና ድማ እናሰሰና ንላዕሊ እናደየብና ንኸይድ ሓደና እንትንወርድ ሓደና እንትንድይብ زولة منجر نزي مراد بالتحساسبة بمورال مزقات مالتي قبو مراد مديام يكونن مديام لما بالتحساسبان بسنا البونان مديام مالتي سب او ملأت محاز مالتي سلازي كلاتنا نزي كنحلفوينا كم زي ازبلات صباح كي يقصل كنقالصينا كنول كنخللنا زخلو صلمات حلفنا دما برهتي زخونه تግራይ لهقت زلوم تغارو حبيرم زنبرلا مساعد غزي يراغحلا مسخالب زي يناخصلا مسزابل زي يغايولا تግራይ كنمسلت قدن يخون نايلو مصلمات بناي صباح تصفى تكينا يكن خيد قدن يخون بقالسنا دما خنعوتنا كنبرتعي اجانا ثانك يو
Thank you, Mickey. ኣተ በረካት ያው ፍልይ ዝበለ ሓሳባት ኮለ ኸውን ምንታ ኸይኒ ደጋግሞ ማለት የመላ ኩሉ ግዜ ካስቑኢልና ናብቲ ዘናድድ ዝሕዝን ዘይኮነ ክነትኩር ዘለና ሲ ንሱም ሕውስ እናበልና ማለት ሞራሉ ተሰይሮሎ ህዝብና ትማል ኣሎ ማዓንትና እስቲ ንሕና ሒዚ እቲ ምኪ ኮለ ዳርጋ እቲ ዝብሎ ዘሎ ሓቦ ሒዝናሲ እንታይ እዩ ዘድልየና ተጋሩ ድሕሪ ሒዚ ንሕናማ እዚ የበልና ዝሓለፈ ስሕተት ተረዲዩና ኣሎ እዩ መን እዩ ሒዝኻ ንጋመገመሉ ግዜ ዘይኮነስ ንዕወተሉ ግዜ ክመፅእ እንተኮይኑ ሓቢርና መስመር ክንሰርሕ ኣለና አንቶም ባዕልካ ጠቂስካዮ ነርካ ኢኻ ትግራዋይ ኮ ኣብ ዓለም ዘሎ ሙሉእ ትግራዋይ ኮ ወፂእ ኮ ይሳተፍን ዘሎ ኣብ ሶሻል ሚድያ ኮ ይሳተፍን ዘሎ ብስልክ ደው ኢሉ ኮ እንታይ ይስራሕ ኣሎ ህዝብና ይቅተል ኣለና ኣሎ ኮ ይብል ዘሎ ቴሌቪዥን ሰምዕ ይሰምዕ ሚድያ ተኸታተለ ዘይከታተል ካብኡ ኸ ናብ ዝነበራ ተመሊሱ እንደገና ከዓ መዓት እነይውና ብመውስዎ ብኻሊእ ነገር ማእኸል ኮይነን በቃ ተሰቂቖም ዝነብሩ እነይውና እዚ ሲ ብሂማኖት ርኢና ተስተኻኺልና እንኳን ንሕና ተጋሩ ደምና ካብ ትግራይ ተፈጠርና ወፃኢ ዘሎ ህዝቢ እዚያት ነገር ዝርአ ደንጊፁ እዚ ትኽክል ኣይኮነ ናብ ዋሽንግተን ዲሲ ርኢናዮ ኢና ፀዓዱ do you guys know what's going on ኩሎም እንተልና of course there's genocide in Tigray እናበሉ ዝመለሱና መዓት ሙሉእ ናይ ዋሽንግተን ዲሲ እነይው እዮም እቶም ናይ ደማ ዓንቲ ዝወፅኡ ዱ ንሶም ግደፍዎ እሞ ኣብ ትሕቲ ጫማና ዘሎ ርስሓት ካብኡ ዝሓሰረ ታሪክ ዘለዎም ሰባት እዮም ግን ነቲ ህዝብና ነቲ ናሃትና ህዝቢ ትግራይ ኣብ ቃልሲ ከላሽን ሒዝካ ጥራይ ተኩስካ ስለ ዘይኮነ ዕላማ ዓወት ናይ ሎሚ ኣብ ስደት ዘለና ሙሉና ተጋሩ ስራሕ ዘይሰርሑ ዘለዉ ኣሕዋትና የመና እውን እንተይ ኮረይና የመና እውን እንተይ ፀረፍናና እቶም ከመይ ጌርና እናተባብዓና ተወሳኺ ክነውፆም ኣለና ምናባና ክነቕርቦም ኣለና ናይ ባዕልና ካብኡ ከዓን ቀፂለ ካልእ ትሕቶ እንተላ እንታይ እየ እቶም ብትክክለኛ እዚ ትክክል ኣይኮነን እናበሉ ዝዛረቡ ዘሎ ኣሕዋትና ንብሎም ኤርትራውያን ብትክክለኛ ዘይድግፍዎ ነዚ ዕላማ እዚ እነይው እዮም ልቢ ዝገበሩ እነይው እዮም ብካሊእ ተፈላለየ ቪድዮታት ኣይረኽቦን ለማዓንቲ እምበር ማንካ ሰረቕቲ ድስቲ ሰረቕቲ ኤርትራውያን እናበሉ ኤርትራውያን ባዕሎም ነቶም ለያቡ ኤርትራውያን ዝገልፁ ስለ ዘለዉ ንኣቶም ከታይ እኒሄ ኢልካስቲ እዚአን ክልትየን ከም ሳመሪ ገይረዮ እምበር ከም ጥያቄ ዝተቕርበልካ እሞ እዚአን ሕፅረ ቢልካስቲ ሓሳባት ተቕርበልና ዘተባብዕ ነቲ ህዝብና ዘጣናኽር ነቲ ህዝብና
በመጀመርያ ደረጃ ንኪሓዊ ብፅቡቅ ነገር ኣቕሪብዎ እዩ ብሓቂ ብዙሕ ዝውሰኽ ነገር የብሉን እንተኾነ ግና ብፍላይ ካብዘን ክልተ ወደል ኣብ ዓብዪ ስልጣን ዝርከባ ደቂ ኣንስትዮ እታ ናይ ኢትዮጵያ ርእሰ ብሄር ዘላን እታ ናይ ሚኒስተር ናይ ሰላም ሚኒስተር ዝበሃላ እዘን ክልተ ሰባት እዚኣተን ለኣብነት ጠቂሰ እዚኣተን ብናይ ተጋሩ ኣሕዋትና ገልን ቃልስን ኣብዚ ስልጣን እዚ ዝመፃ እየ ኣይተጋደላን ምንም ነገር ኣይገበራ ተጋሩ ኣሕዋትና ደቂ ኣንስትዮ እዘን ከዚ ዝዋረዳ ዘለዋ ኣዴታትና ንኣሕዋትና ከምዘይ ተቃለሳ ነይረን ኣብ ስልጣን ጠጠው ክብላ ይኽእላ ነይረን እዚ ክሕደት ክትሪኦ ስለ ዝደለኹ እየ ካልኦት ተጋሩ እውን ክሕደት ኣብ ፆታዊ ዝግበር ዘሎ ናይ መጀመርያ ደረጃ ብናትኻትን ደምን ቃልስን ኣብዚ ደረጃ እዚ በፂሕና ኢለን ክቃለሳ ዝግባኣተን እሳትን እየን ነይረን ግን እቲ ፀቢብ ናይ ብሄር ናይ ኣምሓራ ዕብላል ኣብ ርእሰን ውሽጢ ስለ ዝኣተየ እቲ ዝረኸቦ ብናይ ተጋሩ ደም ደቂ ኣንስትዮ ኣሕዋትና ኣብ ቁም ነገር ከእትዎ ይኽኣላ ትምክሕቲ እዩ ናይ ኣምሓራ ትምክሕቲ ድማ ል100 ዓመት ምሳና ነይሩ እዩ እዚ ሓቂ እዩ ትግራዋይ ላሞተ ላቆሰለ ተጠቃማይ መን እዩ ከምዘን ክልተ ዝኣብነት ዝተቐስናየን ካሊእ እውን ናይቲ ስርዓት ስለዚ ንሕና እዚ ሁሉ ሽግርን መከራን ኣባና ክበፅሕ ከሎ ይሕይለና እምበር ንድሕሪት ዝመልሰልና ኣይኮነን ምክንያቱ እዚ ነገር እዚ ተደጋጋሚ ኣብ ታሪክ ኣባና ስለ ዝበፅሐ እዩ أيو أوزي قرب فليزة بلو بسم أبناء وسترن ديمقراسي ومتخا مثلا لنا دليتنا كن الزارب دليتنا بروتيست المقبار زبهات ناي شفت أكايدا دما كم تميكي حاوي زولا كنا كالو علنا زي ديمونستريشن زي ناي حسب ريتشت وين حسب أفلا لا يكون أب هذا عدي ناي حسب أفلا لا كهلو قدنتي كهلو ونيو كهلو وني كبا هذا زكاير زلقن أبزا عدو زي تتقيمو جينوسايد ككايد وزناي عدنا ديمقراسي قلبا أهزبنا معاتنا وردي ركبلو زياتم challenge كنو قورو ملنا كنو واقعو ملنا أبزا عدو زي بمقمات كتوخابك مثل ناي سباون لحما نقر كتتقملو ويم دما كتتابعلو جينوسايد كفتات تقبر هقي يلا يطيعو كخون دما كل تقرأ يسعرك كبر الله وخلاي الرجال حتى كان نحتو نحنا تجارو كل نجار إنها تجبرت هاي كنجبر لنا دقاقي منا أب سايبر باور بزحك زي تزاراري منا لينا دمتينا جل جود ماي بوليتيكا فلا لا يكون ما عليت متفاي I don't know أمريت زغمت تنفاس زلو تنفاس لزرع أسب أو ترقراي زكاير زلو زي بحال سكنا زي بحال قفعي كردع زي يخل سبلو تيلكاني أو زي عالم زي يلن كبل يقدد ويم دما نار ايه راخون الناس معي سمعخون يلو زكحد عيني بيجاوي ورا اللي يزبل بزي يكون ስለዚህ እዚ ኩሉ እዚ ዝግበር ዘሎ ደጋጊምና ዓንቶ ከምዚ ነገርናዮ ብኩናት ኣይስዕሩናን ስዒሮምና እውን ኣይፈልጡን ግን ኣብ ቆልዑ ብምቕታል ኣብ ደቂ ኣንስትዮ ብምዕማፅ ናይ ሳይኮሎጂ ስካርስ ወይ ድማ እንታይ ዝበሃል ምልክት ኣብ ሓንጎልና ክሰርፅ እሞ ክንሽነፍ ዝግበር ፈተናታት እዩ ምክንያቱም ብደቁን በድዩን ብሓውን ኒሕ ክመልስ ዘይኽእል ትግራዋይ ኣሎ ኢለ ኣይኣምን እዚ ኩሉ እዚ ዝገብር ዘሎ ንትግራዋይ ይሕርኖ እናሓረነ እውን እዩ ዛዕብየት እናርአየ ዝኸይድ ዘሎ ሪኻ ኢኻ መጀመርያ ሓሚልና ሓሚል ጀመርና 23 ባታልዮን ካብ 15,000 መልእ ሰብ እዩ 500,000 ጠጠው ዘበለ ህዝቢ ብድሮን ብታንክ ብጀት ኣሎ ብዝበሃለ ፅዋር ሰለስተ መዓልቲ እዩ ተፈሪድልና ነይሩ ንሕና ካብ ናታቶም ዝበዝሕ መሳርያን ኣውሮፕላንን ሃሊና ኣይኮነን ግን እቲ ንገብሮ መሰልና ለመሕላው ካብኡ ብላዕላ እዩ ብመሳርያ ዘሸነፈ ዓዲ የለን ኣብ ታሪክ ተደጋጊሙ ኣብ ቪየትናም ኣሜሪካ ኣብ ተፈላለየ ተረኣዩ እዩ ህዝቢ ድሕሪ ቆሪፆም ዝመሰሎም ኣብ ትክክል ዕላማ ጠጠው ዝበለ ኩሉ ግዜ ተዓዋታ እዩ እናተዓወትና እውን ኢና ግብሪ እውን እናተረአየ እዩ ሓይልና እናዓበየ እዩ ዝኸይድ ዘሎ እቲ ተኳ እቲ ሰኸፍታናታ እዩ ነቱ ህዝብና ብእዋኑ እኽሊ ማይን ክበፅሐሉ ዝግበር ዘሎ መንገላታት ከምቲ ቪድዮ ተደጋጋሚ ዝረአናዮ ቆልዑ 8 ካብ 8 ክሳዕ 15 ዓመት ሽማግለታት ካህናት ዝቅተልሉ ብእዋኑ ክንበፅሐሎም እዩ ተሰኸፍታ እሱ እዩ ተሰኸፍታና እጋ መጨረሻ ግን ምንም ጥርጥር የብሉን ክንስዕር ከም ንኽእል ትግራይ ኩሉ ግዜ ምስዓረት እያ نا بفلاي على دايسبورا زنركب تجارب كل جزء بتزمهرنا حابحيو زعبينا حزبنا كم صعيب الله ما نمسب نوعلم ملخختها كهلو يخليو أبتكي الله كهلو ون قدنتي مثلا حبرت قد تقراي كم عند غيرنا تقراي تسأليلنا لتقراي نقالس بحزبنا نمكتينا فنحنا ندل يا تقراي استفالا لي حساب بتمجي استفالا لي حساب بتخل زتتصاور عدك نمسرت انتقوينا أبزا أوان زي كل تقراي إجامو كجبر الله زم واشنطن دي سي تريوهم زلهم لما صادق قلنا مالي إريتراويان صلاتنا أيوم يلوم لزارو زنورو لا أنا لمتفق جنبار فتيرهم وقدو ناي واشنطن دي سي سرقاتاتن ناي أوروبا كتماتاتن حبيرهم لا أنا كتفوهم لتناي وورلد opinion مثل اللي مقبار كم نمادو حصوت وحصوت مسرت عدي ስለዝኾነ እዚ ናይ ጥፋኣት ጉዕዞ ይኸዩ ደሎ እናኸዱ እውን እዮም ለብዙሕ ግዜ ግን ክብቱ ተደጋጊሙ ዝረአ ንሕና ካብ ካልኡ ፈላጣት ኮይና ተዘይኮና ኣብ ህዝብና ዘለና ልዕልነትን ሪዞልትን ብትኽክል ንምርዳእ ህዝቢ ዓለም ክፈልጦ ተጋሩ ክትሕሩን እጀመና ክንወፅእ ኢና እናወፃእና ኢና በዚ ኣጋጣሚ እዚ እውን ሳይበር ፓወር ብሓቂ ዝግብኦ እጃመ እናገበረ እዩ ንሕና ተጋሩ ሓድነት እንተዘይፈጠርና ተሸራሪፍና ክንጠፍ ንኽእል ኢና ማንም ትግራዋይ ኣብዛ እዋን እዚ ምስ ህዝቡን ምስ ዓዱን ጠጠው ክብል ዘይከኣለ ኣነ ትግራዋይ ኢሉ ኣፉ መሊኡ ክዛረብ እውን ክእል የብሉ ስለዚ ብኩሉ ሽግር እናመፀ ህዝብና ሽግር ተፃዋራ እዩ ተኸላሳ እዩ እቲ ብሩህ ተስፋ ኣብ ዓድዩ ዝረአይ እዩ ብናይ ዝኸዚ ዘሎ ሽግርን መከራን ተስፋ ዝቆርፅ ህዝቢ ኣይኮነን ብታሪክ ተደጋጊሙ ዝተረኣየ እዩ ጃህራ ኣይኮነን እንደዚ ዝኣክል ሰራዊት ናይ ደርጊ ዝሰዓረ እዩ እዞም ኸዚ ሰምሓራ ኮይኖም ዝወግኡና ዘለው ካብ ጥፋኣትን ካብ መከራን ብዙሕ ግዜ ኣድሒናዮም ኢና ግን ኣይንጀሃረሉን ከማኣቶም ከንዛረበሉ 150 ሰብ ናብ ኣዲስ ኣበባ ናይ ታንክን ናይ መካኒክን ሰላየትን ሰዲዶም ንሕና ኢና ኣዲስ ኣበባ ኣቲናኩም ኢሎም ዝጀሃሩ ዝንክሕተኛታት ብዙሕ ግዜ እውን ንሕና መልሲ ዝሓሶት መልሲ ዘይሃብናሉ እዩ ስለዚ ብሓቂ ኣንቶ ዝጠየቅካኒ ሕቶ ኩሉ ነገር ኣብ ኢድና እዩ ዘሎ ፅባሕ እውን ትወግሕ እያ እታ ኩላትና ዝንደልያ ትግራይ ናጋ ኣብዞም ፀላእትና መቃብር ክትምስረት እያ እዚ ዘጠራጥር ነገር ኣይኮነን ስለዚ ተጋሩ በዚ ኣጋጣሚ እዚ ናይ ሎሚ ቁስልን ሽግርን ኣይትረአዩ እቱት ዝመፅእ ዘሎ ናይ ትግራይ ፅቡቕ ናይ ትግራይ ኣብ ዓለም ደረጃ ረእይዋ ብሰለስተ ወርሒ እኳ እያ ትግራይ ካብ ጫፍ ክሳዕ ጫፍ ዓለም ዘስደመመ ታሪክ ዝሰርሐት ድሕር ኩላትና ተሓባቢርና ሓደ ድሕሪ ኮይንና ንኣና ዝምክት ሓይሊ ኣይህልውን ክህልው እውን ኣይግባእን ታሪክ ዝሓለፈ ተጋድሎ ኩሉ ግዜ ምሳና እዩ እዚ እውን ብዙ ታሪክ ናይ ኣሉላ ናይ ዮሃንስ ክንቕፅለሉ ኢና እዚ ነገር እዚ ይካኣፕ ይብልዎ ፃዕዱ ቁሩብ ሂቕታ እዩ እዚ ሂቕታ እዚ እውን ብዓወት ክንሓልፎ ኢና ምንም ዘጠራጥር ነገር ኣይኮነን ተጋሩ ኣሕዋትና ብርትዑ ንሕበር ሓድነትና ነጠንክር እንቶ ዓንቶ ሚኪ ሓወይ ዝበሎ ኣይንንዓቆም ናብ ፍርዲ ነምፀዮም ንቃለሶም ምክንያቱም እቲ ቃልሲ ኣብ ትግራይ ዲፌንስ ፎርስስ ዝገብርዎ ቃልሲ እንተዘይኮነ ኣብ ኣሜሪካን ኣብ ኢሮፕ ዝግበር ናይ ፅርግያ ቃልሲ እውን ክንቀፅለሉ ኣለና ቃልስና ትክክለኛ ናይ ማንነትና መግለፂ እዩ ንማንም ኣይዓምፀፅናይ ናማንም መሰል እውን ኣይወሰድናይ ስለዚ እቲ ተስፋ እቲ ግዜ ምሳና እዩ ፀላእትና እናተሸራረፉ እናጠፉ እዮም ዝኸይድ ዘለው ካብዚ ዝበለፀ ብሩህ ተስፋ እንታይ ንደሊ እዚ እውን ቃልስና ክነቐፅል ኣለና ባህላ እየ ኣብ ፅቡቅ ኩነታት ኢና ዘለና ሎንግ ሊቭ ትግራይ ዲፌንስ ፎርስስ ክብለት
Thank you. أتبارك هنا يا لما أنت بتعمل وإحنا ينا زينانا جن إفريم عدل سلزة هاونا يو مستلقان بإنجليزية أنا غيرنا مسينا أما تشرشوا بتجرينا محسر بينا إلا نقاط أمون يا أب عسران حمشتن زوار حزيو مارش عسران حمشتن مارتيو مبزحتنا نا واشنطن دي سي اندغنا خنكابينا እንዳጋጣሚ እውን ሓደ ኦሮሞ ዝኾኑ ንክሳተፉ የዘጋጀወለው እንዳጋጣሚ እዚዩ ሓደ ሰብ ልኢክሎ እዩ ሸር ዝገብረኩም ኣለኹ ግን ናይ ተጋሩ ሰላማዊ ሰልፊ ክንገብር ኣለና ኢሉ ብመናእሰይና ብኤስጄቲኢ ተማይጥና ዝወሰድናዮ ዘሎ ብዝበለፀ ሰንበት ምሸት ኣብ ሎስ አንጀለስ ካሊፎርኒያ ኮይነ ናይ መናእሰይ ከቅርበልኩም እየ ዜናታት እና እቲ ቦታ በይ ከም ዝኸውን ሰዓቱ ኩሉ ነገር ክንገልፀልኩም ኢና ሒዚ ግን እንተለኹ ታይኩለኩም እየ ቶም ኦሮሞ እውን ክንሕወሰኩም ኢና ኢሎም ዳርጋ ተስፋ ይርኢና ኣለዉ እሞ ንሳ እየታ ስክሪን ዘርእየኩም ዘለኹ ኤርትራውያን እውን እንተልይኹም ኣብኡ ትወፁ ንጎርና ግዜ እኒሄ እዩ ዕለት 25 ኣብ ዋሽንተን ዲሲ ንፅባሓይቱ ኸ ዕለት 26 ማርች ማለት እዩ ካብ ዋሽንተን ዲሲ ናብ ኒውዮርክ ሲቲ ኸይድና ኣብ ኒውዮርክ ሲቲ ንፅባሓይቱ ሰላማዊ ሰልፊ ነካይድ ኢና እዚኣ እናበልኩ ኣብቲ መጀመርታ ዝበልኩኹም ናይ ሎስ አንጀለስ ዕለት ማርች 13 ቀዳም ዝመፅእ ዘሎ ሰዓት 1 ክነካይድ ኢና ሰላማዊ ሰልፊ ኤፍሬም ካብቲ ኣሕዋትና ዘይገለፅዎ ኣሕፅር ኣቢልካ እስቲ እዚ ኩነታት ዝኒሄ ናይ ትግራይ መከላካይ መቸም ስጉምታት ይወስደሎ እዩ ለማዓንቲ ምን ኣውጊዕና ኢና ብግዜ እና ሓድሓድ ነገር ያው ጥንቅቂልና ቦታ እንታይ ገለፅና ሓድሓድ ነገር ተይበልና እስቲ እንታይ ዝካይድ ዘሎ ናይ ትግራይ መከላካይ ሃይሊ ክንዲ እንታይ ዝበሃል እዚ ክንዲ ኣብ ዝተወቅዑሉ ንህዝብና ዝጎድእዎ ዘለው ኸ ሳመራይ ዘሕፅር ኣቢልካ እስቲ ሞራልና ኣዮና ንምባል ነቲ ህዝብና ሓበሬታ ዝተቐርበልና
مصبو تم عبيت قال يسموا يوم حياتنا نميكي بركات
واي سنة سرعت ما عندي توازن ما نخنبر
أبيت
سيد
ميكي كات بقولت غيري خافزيا
ما سنة سرعت نسفلتك قاعد تسدد اندي نسريخا دوم بيتي نبرا
حياتنا نميكي قال يسموا
لا ميكي هاري بخير ويلك
وانا قلت موكو
ويلي
وين نقبرنا نار يا
هنجيز كايو
نا ماتيو
افريم كافريس كويس
نا انت كل ليه
افريم فريز كوين الله رحمه ما anyway افريم سيستم كا تشيك ورمو سكابت ملسنا زرو ያው ሜክ ኦኬ There you go.
እንዳይ ወይኔ
نسخة فريس كوين كاتني ميكي
سكرين
هاوس
يمون خوريا.
على سكا.
نروح قال سيلن دي behind the curtain مالتي قدم ولدنا
أنا كو من ما يقولكون آياتنا خمس زغنا سوى يقولكون نضحك لي
By the way, make sure بانديرا هم حازو بانديرا تات حازو.
push up كنا راح نفتاتن
بركات خمس بحال نو يوم غيره منا
50 I could hit 50 سلام
داك اللي دلي انا هناتات هم تفولتو حزي يفلط اني نيرو يفلط كوي نيرو زغناتات زي كم زمص يفولتو نيرو يام تذكروا ندخركم صباحات نقع حزه بديس ابا زلو درغي لو ናይ ሻዕብያ ድማ ትፈልጥዎ ኢኹም ካብ መጀመርያ ትሒዙ ንህዝቢ ትግራይ ስትራቴጂካዊ ፀላእኹም ዝኾነ ይፍለጥ መጀመርያ 73 ከባቢ ትግራይን ኤርትራን ለመደምሰስ ትግራይን ለማዳሰስ ኢሉ ክመፅእ ከሎ ተጋሪኦም ኣድሒኖምዎ ናይ ሻዕብያ ቃልሲ ንምንታይ እዩ ንህዝቢ ኤርትራ ክበሃል እዩ ንህዝቢ ኤርትራ ክበሃል ቃልሲ ክህሉ ኣለዎ ህዝቢ ትግራይ እውን ንክህሉ ስትራቴጂካዊ ዋላ ይኹን ናይ ግንባር ቃልሲ ክህልወና ስለ ዘለዎ ተባሂሉ ተጋደልትና ኣብ ሳሕል ከይዶም መርዛም ጋዝ ብሳፈር እንዳተበሉ ከለዉ ኣብኡ ንህዝባዊ ግንባር ኣድሒኖምዎ ንህዝቢ ኤርትራ ኣድሒኖምዎ ንህዝቢ ትግራይ ንኸድሕን ተባሂሉ ንሱ ግን ናይ 77 ዓመተ ምህረት እንታይ ድርቂ ክመፅእ ከሎ ህዝብና ንሱዳን ክኸይድ ኣይከኣልን ቡላክ እዩ ገይርዎ رديك له دهار እውን ኣብ ናይ ብዙሓት ኣብ ናይ ሶስተኛ ምድምሳስ ኣብ ካልኦት በቃ ታንክታት ከኣራሪ ቁምበላታት ከኣራሪ ክወስድ ይምበር ኩሉ ግዜ ምንም ዓይነት ታይስሙ ዝገበሮ ነገር እዩ ድሓር ኣብ ናይ መሸጋገር መንግስቲ እውን ትፈልጥዎ ኢኹም ኣብ ናይ መሸጋገር መንግስቲ ክህሉ ከሎ ብጣዕሚ እዩ ስትረስ ይሆ ነይሩ ንመለስ ገንዘብ የብልናን ኢትዮጵያ ዳሂማትና ገንዘብ ሃውና ኢሉ ብናይ ኢትዮጵያ ገንዘብ 3 ዓመት ሙሉእ ክንቀሳቀስ ተገይሩ ንህዝቢ ኤርትራ ተባሂሉ ሰላም ተደልዩ ንሰላም ምንታ እግርግር ከይፍጠር ጨቅጭቅ ከይፍጠር ምንታ ተባሂሉ ዝበሎ ንሃቦ ዝበሎ ንግበረሉ እንዳወሉ ገንዘቡ ብናይ ኢትዮጵያ ገንዘብ ን3 ዓመት ሙሉእ ክስታይ ተገይሩ ድሓር ሰሪቁ ሰራሪ ቡና የለ ገለ የለ ካብ ዓለም ቀዳማይ ወፂ
ተተኸዩ ማለት እዩ 3 ዓመት
እንዳተባሃለ ማለት እዩ ኢሳያስ
ተኸይዎም ማለት ካሪዩ
ምትኳው ዘይኮነስ እቲ ናይ ባዕላቶም ገንዘብ ፕሪንት ክሳብ ዝገብሩ እቲ ሲስተም ይድግፍዎ ነይሮም ተረዲካ ኣሎ ንምንታይ እዩ ምክንያቱም ኢምፐልሲቭ እዩ ንነገር እዩ ዝብሎ ነይሩ ሽግራት ክፈጥር እዩ ዝብል ነይሩ ዋላ ኣብቲ ናይ ኮንስቲቱሽን እውን ክወፅእ ከሎ ሕግታት ንሱ እውን ኮንስቲቱሽን ከውፅእ ኣብኡ መፅኡ እውን ፓርቲሲፔት ክገብር ክንደይ ነገር እዩ ታይሱ ተገይሩ ከምኡ ዓይነት ታይስሞ ይነበረ ኣብ ናይ ባድመ ውግእ እውን ክጅምር ከሎ ትዝክር ኢኻ ኤርትራ እኮ 74 ካቢኔታት ነይሮም ክሳብ ሕዚ ቶም 70 ኣበይ ከም ዝኣተዉ ይፍለጡ ቶም 4 ጥራሕ እዮም ዘኒአዉ እምበር ናይ ፓርላማ ኣኼባ ተባሂሉ 2 ግዜ ጥራሕ እዮም ገይሮም ስለዚ ኣብ ናይ ባድመ ውግእ እውን ኩሉ ነገር ምስ ተወቅዐ መንደፈር አይና ኦልሞስት መንደፈር አጽሕና ነርና እንከይድ ማለት ነው ድሓር ኖ ከምዚ ዓይነት ወራር ኣየድልን ኣብ ዘለናዮ ቦታና ክሳብ ዘምለስና ዋን ኣብ ዘለናዮ ቦታ ንዕርፍ ምክልኻል ንግበር ተባሂሉ ህዝቢ ኤርትራ ናይ ባዕሉ መንግስቲ ባዕሉ ክቅይር ኣለዎ ዝብል ክብረት ንህዝቢ ኤርትራ ክብረት ተባሂሉ ተገዲፉ ኩሉ ትኹነታት ሕዚ ትሪእዎ ኣለኹም መሊሱ ንዓና ክወቅዐና ገለ ዝገበረና ዘሎ ንሱ ካብ ቀደሙ ወቃዒ ቀታሊ ስለ ዝኾነ እና ንህዝቢ ትግራይ ኣነ ክቦ ዝኽእል መልእኽቲ እንታይ እዩ እዞም ሰባት እዚኣቶም ናይ ኣብይ መንግስቲ ደርጊ እዩ ኢልዎ እዩ ስብሓት ነጋ መጀመርያ እውን ሕዚ እውን ደርግታት እዮም እዚኣቶም ንሕና ንፈልጥ ደርጊ ዝክሪ ካብ 3ኛ ክፍለ ጦር ሚኪ ዝተማረኹ ተጋደልቲ ኣቃፂሉ ናብ ገደለ እትዩ ነይሩ
መራኛ
መንእሰያት ግን ናብ ገደል ቀቲሉ ናብ ገደል ዘእቱ መንግስቲ ግን ሕዚ እየ ዝርኢ ዘለኹ ብጣዕሚ ዝገርም ስለዚ እዚ ኩሉ ኩነታት እንሪኦ ዘለና ሕዚ እዩ ኣብዚ ናይ ሕዚ መንግስቲ እዩ ብጣዕሚ ዘገርም ነገር ማለት እዩ ስለዚ እቲ መማረፂ እንታይ እዩ ሕዚ ድሕር ተሳላችና ድሕር ተጓቲትና መወዳእታ የብልናን ሰላማዊ ሰልፊ ስለ ዝገበሩ ታንኪ ሒዞም ስለ ዝመፁ ኣውሮፕላን ሒዞም ስለ ዝመፁ ገለ ስለ ዝመፁ ኢልካ ዝቓልሲ እዚ እንድሕር ጉቲምካዮ ዕድመ ልክዕና ክሓሲና ዕድመ ልክዕና ከጥፍኡና እምበር ምንም ክንወፅእ ኣይንኽእልና ተሕዚ ቃልስና ለይትን ቀትርን ከይደኸምና እንድሕር ንቅፅል ኮይንና ግን ሕዚ እውን መንእሰይ እውን ምንም ኣማረፂ የብሉን ህዝቢ እዚኣቶም ክቆትልዎ ስኡ ኢሎም ከባሳውስዎ ክቆትልዎ ደመ ከልቢ ክገብርዎ እምበር ተቃሊሱ ከጥፍኦም እንድሕር ዘይክኢሉ ናብ ኣሕዋቱ ናብ ብፆቱ እንድሕር ክኸይድ ዘይክኢሉ ምንም ዓይነት ትርጉም የብሉን እዚኣቶም ከምታ ሕዚ ዝገብርዎ ዘሎ ከምታ ንሪኦም ዘለና እንዳቆተሉ እዮም ክድርይዎ ኣቢሱ ክገብርዎም እዮም በቃ መንእሰይ ምቕታል ንዓቶም ወያነ ማለት ብምሉእ ህዝቢ ትግራይ ንዓቶም ወያነ እዩ ደቂ ኣንስትዮ ብምሉአን ኣዶ ወየንቲ ዝወልዳ ደቂ ኣንስትዮ እየን ጀጋኑ እየን እዚኣተን ምብስባስ እዚኣተን ምቕታል ስለዚ ንሕና ወፃእ ዘለና እውን ብዘለና ላዕልን ታሕትን ምባል ኣው ኣብ ትግራይ ዘሎ መንእሰይ እውን ኩሉ ምንም ዓይነት ለይትን ቀትርን ኢሉ ነዞም ሰባት እዚኣቶም ከውፅእ እንድሕር ዘይክኢሉ ንዚኣቶም ምንም ዓይነት ተዘራሪብካ ትፈትሖ ነገር ይህሉ ዋ እዚኣቶም ትሪኦም ኣለካ ዶ ናይ ኣሜሪካ ኣምባሳደር እንዳተኻትዐ ሂማኒታርያን ኣክሰስ ክህሉ ኣለዎ እንዳበለ ሰብ ይመውት ኣሎ እንዳበለስ እዚኦም ኢትዮጵያውያን ድኸኦም ወፂኦም ኣብ ትግራይ ዘሎ ናይ ሰላም ማስከበር ክቕፅል ኣለዎ መንግስትና ንድግፍ ኢሎም ሰላማዊ ሰልፊ ክወፅእ ከለዎ እንታይ ይበሃል ህዝቢ ትግራይ ህዝቢ እንዳተጨፍጨፈ ማለት እዩ ኣይፈልጠና ይጥይቐና ፃዕዳ ፕሮቴክት እንዳግበረ ነቲ ህዝቢ ኤቪደንሳት እንዳቕረበ ቪድዮታት እንዳተረኣየ ስለዚ ኮምፕሊትሊ ግልፂ እዩ እዚ ነገር እዚ ተጋሩ ክጠፍኦ ኣለዎም ኢሎም ዝወሰኑ ናይ ዘርኢ ፅልኣት ዘለዎ ህዝቢ ዘይኮነስ ኢሊት ከምቲ ዓንትዎ ዝበልካ እንቶም ዝመርሑ ዘለዉ ኣብ እቲ ናይ ሻዕብያ ይኹን እቲ ናይ ኣብይ ይኹን ኣብ ስልጣን ዘሎ ሰብ ሙሉእ ንህዝቢ ድሲቭ ንህዝቢ ብሕማቕ ነገር ኣእሚኖም ሂትለር እኮ ታይስሞ ይኮነን ሂትለር እኮ ንጀርመን ኣእሚኑ እኮ እዩ ጀርመን እኮ ይድግፎ ነይሩ እኮ ጀርመናውያን እኮ ኩሎም ደጊፎሞ እኮ እንዴ ንሰብ ምስሓሓት እውን እኮ ወንጀል እኮ እዩ መራሒ ኮንካ ወንጀል እኮ እዮም ዝሰርሑ ዘለዉ ንሰብ ኣሰሓሒትካ ሰብ ክትቀትል ምግባር እውን እኮ ወንጀል እኮ ሂትለር እኮ ጀርመናውያን ብምሎም ደጊፎሞ እዮም ንጁሽ ክቆትሉ ከሎ This is what he's doing right now. ህዝቢ የሰሓሕት እዩ ዘሎ ህዝቢ ሰሓሒት እዩ ንህዝቢ ትግራይ ዝጭፍጭፍ ዘሎ ወያኔ እንደዚህ ነው ያደረጋችሁ ወያኔ እንደዚህ ያደረጋችሁ ሻሸመኔ የተደረገው በወያኔ ነው 27 ዓመት እንደዚህ ያደረገን 27 ዓመት እንታይ ገይሩ ወያኔ ዜና ዓቶም ከብልዖ ምን ከስትዮም ንዜና ዓቶም ይፅቡቅ ነገር ገይሩሎ ኣይናይ ትግራዋይ ሓሊፉሉ ኣይናይ ትግራዋይ እዩ ኣብ ስዊዝ ባንክ ገንዘብ ተረኺቡሉ ኩሎም ቶም መራሕቲ እውን ገንዘብ ነይርዎም ሃፍቲ ነይርዎም ዝበሃል ዘለው ኣብ ሓመዶም እንዲኦም ጉዳኣት እዮም ዝኒአው ደቆም መሕከም የብሎም ንባዕላቶም መሕከም የብሎም ኣይ ናይ መራሒ ናይ ህዝባውያን ሓርነት ትግራይ እዩ ገንዘብ ኣለኒ ኢሉ ናብ ወፃእ መፅኡ ተንደላቂቑ ዝነብር ዘሎ ትግራዋይ መን ኣሎ እስቲ ተጋደልቲ ኢና ነርና ኣነ እኒአኹም ሚክኒ ትሪኢና ኣለኹም 24/7 ንሰርሕ ኣለና እናሰርሕና ኢና ንነብር ዘለና ወፃእ ኣይናይ ጥቕሚና ረኺብና ስለዚ ዘይነው ንሕና ንባዕልና ዘይምዃንና ንህዝብና ዘይምዃንና እውን እዩ ከምዚ ገይሮም ንህዝቡ ገይሮም ሙሉ ተዝኾኑ ነይሮም እንደም ሕወሓት ትግራዋይ ዓዱም ኣጥቢቑ ፕሮቴክት ምግበራ ነይሩ ሚሳይል ምግበረላ ነይሩ ሃፋት መብዚሖሙላ ነይሮም ተዝነብሩ ሚልዮነራት ቢልዮነራት ተጋሩ ነይሮም ተዝነብሩ ንሃፍቶም ክብሉ ሚሳይል ገዝኡ ነይሮም ንሃፍቶም ክብሉ ፀረ ድሮን ገዝኡ ነይሮም ንሃፍቶም ክብሉ መዓት ፕሮቴክት ክገብር ዝኽእል ነገር ናይ ውጊ መሳርሕታት ንገዝኡ ነይሮም ግን ከምኡ ዓይነት ህዝቢ ኢትዮጵያ ክሓልፈሉ ከሎ ህዝቢ ትግራይ ዝሓልፈሉ እንዳበሉ ንህዝቢ ትግራይ ስለ ዘይገበርሉ ክንድፈር ክኢልና ምንም ዓይነት ፕሮቴክት ገብረና ዝኽእል ነገር ኣይነበረን ስለዚ ግልፂ እዩ ርኢናዮ ኢና ድሕሪ ሕዚ ማንም ትግራዋይ ዝዕሾ ትግራዋይ ክህሎ ይኽእልን ትግራይ ክትኩላዕ እያ ክንድምስሶም ኢና ምንም ኣየጠራጥርን እዚ ክነግረካ ኣነ ወዲ 13 ዓመት ሚኪ ንእሽተይ እንዳሃለ ኩላና ኣናእሽተይ ተጋደልቲ እንዳሃለና ንኸላሽን ዓጢቕና ወፂና ምክንያቱም ዊናው ከም ዝቆትሉና ከም ዝርሹና ንፈልጥ ነርና ምክንያቱም ኣሕዋትና አንተ ቅማላም ትግራይ እዮም ዝብሉካ ብስሩ እውን የዛረቡካ ንኮ ነይሩ እዚ ድፍረት ፀርፊ ኩሉ ነገር መሪርና ርኢናዮ ኢና ወፂና ሃልና ይትረፈና ኢልና ሕዚ እውን ትግራዋይ ከምኡ ኢሉ እንድሕር ወፅዩ ኖን እዚኣቶም ንካሊእ ክግልጥ ዝኽእል ጅግና ህዝቢ ስለ ዘለና ሕዚ እውን ክንጥንክር ክንቀል ኣለና ሉዝ እዩ ትታዮም ትናይዚኦም ትናይ ኦሮሞ ማራ ገለመለ ዘራኽቦም ዘሎ ኮርድ ልሕልሕ እዩ ኢትስ ሉዝ ታይ ኢትስ ናት ስትሮንግ ታይ ፅባሕ ነንባዕላቶም ክባልዑ እዮም ምንም ዘራኽቦም ነገር የብሎም እዚኣቶም ተዝራኸቡ ነይሮም ትሪኦም ኣለኻ ብዛዕባ ኢትዮጵያ ድሌትን ፍልጠትን ፍትወትን ተዝህሎም ኣበይ በፂሑ ኣሎ ሱዳን ኣበይ በፂሑ ኣሎ ኣበይ ኣሎ ብዛዕባ ኢትዮጵያውነት እንድሕር ኮይኑ ሱዳን ትግራዋይ ድን ኢትዮጵያ ዝወራ ነይሩ ወይስ ሱዳን እያ ንኢትዮጵያ ትወራ ዘላ ንናይ ባዕሎም ህዝቢ ዘሎ ዋና ምክንያት ፅላኣት ሕማቕ ነገር ፀረ ከም ዓንቶ ሚኪ ገሊፅዎ እንቆልዑ እዚአን ክሞታ ከለዋ ኢትዮጵያ ትመውት ኣላ በስ እንቆልዑ እዚኦም ክሞቱ ከለዉ ኢትዮጵያዊነት እዩ ዝመውት ተጋሩ ኣይኮነን ዝሞቱ ዘሎ መጀመርያ ኢትዮጵያዊነት እዩ ዝመውት ኢትዮጵያ ኢኻ ትፀልእ ኢትዮጵያ ትፈራረስ ድሕሪ ሕዚ ድማ ንሳ ተጋሩ ግን ክንወፅእ ኢና ግን ክነብል ለይትን ቀትርን ክነብል የብልናን ክንድቅስ የብልናን ሕዚ ብዝተኸኣለና መጠን በርቲዕና ዓድና ምስቶም ጀጋኑ ኣሕዋትና በረኻ ወፂኦም ዝኒአው ኣብ ዓዲ ዘለውን በረኻ ክወፅ ኣሎ ኣብዩ ዘለና እውን እቲ ናይ ዲፕሎማት ስራሕ ተጠናኺርና ክንሰርሕ ንክእል ኣለና ዝብል እምነት እዩ ዘለኒ ቴንኪዩ
ታንኪዩ ቦሎ በቃ ብጣዕሚ ንሕናዮ ናይ ብሓቂ ኦኬ ኣቶ በረካት 2 ሚኒት ካብ ሚክ 2 ሚኒት ክወኩም እየ ሳመራይዝ ገርኩም ንክትዓፅዋ ፕሊዝ ግን 2 ደቂቃ ንገረን
ኣነ ካብኡ ብታሕታይ ካሕፅራ እየ
ፅቡቅ
ንመጨረሻ ትብል ዝረብ ተዛሪብናዮ እንዲና ምድግጋም ትርጉም ዘለዎ ኣይኮነን ግን መልእኽቲ ክነተሓላልፍ ንደሊ ነገር ተሃልዩ ሓንቲ ወሳናይ ዝኾነት ዝተጋሩ ምንነት መግለፂ ናትና ሕብረት እዩ ኣብዚ እዋን እዚ ትግራዋይ ክሓብር ኣለዎ እቲ መፂእና ዘሎ ጣጣ ማንነትናን ካብ ዓድና ፈልዮም ካብ መረበትና ኣውፅኦም ዝለና ጥሪትን ንብረትን ሃብትን ኣጥፊኦም ናብ ስደት ናብ መከራ ክሰዱና እዩ እዚ እውን ተደጋጊሙ ኣብ ሁመራ ኣብ ሽረ ኣብ ዝተፈላለዩ ቦታት ዓቕሚ ኣብ ዝረኸበሉ ፈተነ ገይሮም እዮም እናገበሩ እውን እዮም ብፍላይ ከዚ ዓለም ናብቲ ናይ ትግራይ ዓብዪ ትኩረት ኣብ ዝሃበሉ እዋን ኣሜሪካውያን መፂኦም የድሕንኹም እዮም እናበሉ ካብቱ ብዝኸፍአ ቅድሚ ከዚ ዝገብርዎ ዝነበሩ ግፍዒ ኣብ ሕብረተሰብና ግፍዒ እናፈፅሙ እዮም እዚ ኩሉ እዚ ትግራዋይ ብፍላይ ኣብ ዳያስፖራ ዝነብር ብቕኑዕ ልቢ ክርኢ ኣለዎ ደጋጊምና ንዛረብ ኣለና ንሕና ተጋሩ ኣብ ማእኸልና ናይ ኣመለኻኽታ ኣረኣእያ ክህልወና ኣለዎ ግድነት እውን ክህሉ ብቃልሲ እውን ናይ ኣመለኻኽታ ሓደነት ክፈጥር እንተዘይኮነስ ዝተፈላለየ ኣመለኻኽታ ክትሓባብር ክትፃወር ዝኽእል ሕብረተሰብ ንምፍጣር እዩ ዝተቃለሰ እዚ እውን ኩላትና ክንቃለስ እውን ግቡእና እዩ መሰልና እውን ግን እዚ መፂእና ዘሎ ጣጣ ግን እዚ ኩሉ ዝግህስ ማንነትና ዘጥፍእ ካብ መረበትና ናብ ስደት ዝሰድድ ስርዓት እቱ ኣብ ሂወት ደቅናን ኣዴታትን ኣቦታትን ካህናትን ሸኽን ገብሮ ዘሎ ግፍዓዊ ጭፍጨፋ ናይ ዓለም ለኸ መረዳእታ against humanity genocide ኣብ ዩናይትድ ኔሽን ሴኩሪቲ ካውንስል ኣየርላንድ ፕሮፖዝ ዝገበረቶ ክልተ ነገር እዩ ሓደ እቲ ኣብ ትግራይ ዝካየድ ዘሎ genocide against humanity ethnic cleansing ስለ ዝኾነ ናይ ኢሳያስ መርሰነሪ ስርዓትን ናይ አብይ ጉጅለን ናይ አምሓራ ፋኖ or special forces ኣብ ዓለም ሕጊ ክቐርቡ ኣለዎም ዝብል ድራፍት እዩ ብኻልኣይ ነጥብ ድማ ኣብ ትግራይ ብዙሕ ሽግር ዝካየድ ስለ ዘሎ ኣክሰስ ብናይ ምንም ተፅዕኖ ካብ መንግስቲ ኢትዮጵያ ክህሉ ኣለዎ ዝብል እዩ ከምዚ ትፈልጥዎ ራሽያ ቻይና ሱፐር ፓወር ናብ ባዕላቶም ፀገማት ስለ ዘለዎ እዚ ኩነታት ናይ ጆኖሳይድ ዝብል ከሕልፍዎ ይከኣሉን ግን እቲ ናይ ሂማኒቲ ኣክሰስ ብለይ ምንም ተፅዕኖ ኣብ ዝብል ክሓልፍ ገይሮምዎ እዮም ስለዚ ተጋሩ ዝነገራት እዚ ብፍላይ ዳያስፖራ ዝንነብር ደጋጊምና ሓደ እናትና ክጠናኸር ኣለዎ እዛ ዓዲ እዚ ንሕና ከም ዓይንን ከም እዝንን ኮይና ናይ ህዝብና ሽግርን መከራን ጠጠው ክንብል ደው ክንብል ተፅዕኖ ክንፈጥር ኣብ ናይ ዓለም ፃዕሪ ይግበር ኣሎ በዚ ኣጋጣሚ እዚ ድማ ብፍላይ ኣብዚ ዝተወለዱ ዓዶም ብዙሕ ኣፋልጦ ክህልዎም ዘይገበርና ኣብ ኮሚኒቲ ሴንተራት ኣብ ዝተፈላለየ ቦታ ዓለም ዝርከቡ ደቅና ዝገበርዎ ዝሕብን ዝኹርዕ ኣየየ ዘብል ናይ ሶሻል ሚድያ ነጠፈ ኩሉ ግዜ እናኮራዕና ኣሎም ከም ንነብር በዚ ኣጋጣሚ እዚ ተዘይገለፅክዎ ክሓልፍ ኣይደልን ስለዚ እቲ ቃልሲ ተጀሚሩ እምበር ኣይተወደአን ንበርትዕ ኢሊ ተታሒዝና ንሰጉም ፀላእትና ኢሊ ተታሒዞም ኣብ ዋሽንግተን ዲሲ ለኣና ከጥፉ እዮም ሰላማዊ ሰልፊ ዝገብሩ ዘለዉ ንሕና ድማ ማንነትና ኣብ መረባና ኮይንና ክንነብር ብሰላም ዝንገብሮ ቃልሲ እዩ ስለዚ ተጋሩ ልቢ ንግበር ሓቢርና ብሕብረት ንሰጉም ትግራይ ትስዕር
Thank you. Mickey, Bella, Lenny, had hauna,
قدم عبرخا ني افريم مانجس زعمسلو دك 13 عامت بصاونتم استغادلس يعني اسكو 17 نيروا شاهي بزي سدي مو خاو دما خالي شاهي دغمو مال دميع مالت سريق مالت كافتا تقبل لعل لازم خلت لسني لسين لعلي خيد ما برخت قص على وي
اوكي
ما ميكي خن الزارة يندللنا تبهر الله خمو زحونا ليني براينز إيدكا يوصلنا بالكاس للزارة دس للناس نيشتي تزارة ولا كان للناس سامرايز غير كعصوا أنا من نيشتي زارة
ثانك يو حرايشي I know قال يوم حداري والخان برتزل لو كاسبيت خاصنا نرقف كاين ركابي دخلنات وانا شفكاي ولنا له no wonder why I'm single ولا ملخ سلازي make no mistake ميكي فيكس قبر نتليو يدو اسير يا اخو قون مالتي unfortunately ግን እቲ ናይ ርእሰይ ንባብ ምስ ኢደይ እዩ ዝኸይድ ብሓባር ከምዚ እንታይ እዩ ልምዲ ጥራሕ ዘይኮነስ ከምኡ እዩ to make sense look at this ከምኡ እናወልኩ ንዑ እናወልኩ እውን
أنا كنت حمس زلها هاي مثلا حدا زي أبحر زلها قال مثلا
لا حقي يقول مايك نحن أنا نسمع فري ناس أصلا زهونا أنا هم بقى
زعم زلها مثلا
exactly that's how it is
ناس أصلا زهونا أيوه
بسرون خمزي السقبل انت كانت سنتنسون زي كسر حيخلي لازم نسوس تتحزي ايموشن سي خمزي حدا اقرا هنقصاقص يتخاون زنقصاقص خو مالتي ناتي سلازي يقريتها
حيل ايكيو لهم زبالو سباتكم يوم زغورو
There you go, thank you. تاي 140 عندي اموناتي انتم حمسه زلوم سوي قتل اللوزي 140 خوينا دما نصم زقاتلوا نحنا نساقق لنا تقراوي بمولو لعلم ايتي تم رشنتي تم دفرتي سبعه وسمعت زي ولم سبات اندر وي دما لو اي كيو زلوم باي ذا واي unfortunately somehow انا خستاتي نمبر تزمرمرو نورمال سبات يكون يو مخنياتو كاب سبنيا زوص اصل زخونو maybe نا انسانتهم كصقع خل يوم نعوم يوم دما ناوصو قتل زلوم زلو بزي ولا بز غنافت نطوي كاتو حصر كبلامو نحنا اي ثينك حد غزي حد نغر خمص كلس حد نغر حزي مص يبحالو عدنا قيصل متى يوقحن no pain no gain زبحال اللو بزي كما مكراسيا سناي زمني يمصنسيوم كلهم يوم تግራይ اي ثينك حد نغر كابز كنوسدو زلنا حماق راح يكون حماق يتخكل يو موت يقرن سقاي ون زنبرنا ليو ግን ሓደ خلاتنا كنحزو زلنا تግራይ ኣብ 3000 ዓመታት ታሪክ ምናልባት ብዘመን ኣክሱም ተዘይኮይኑ ከም ሎሚ ኣብ መድረኽ ዓለም ወፂኣ ልዕሊ ኢትዮጵያ ልዕሊ ኣፍሪቃ ትርኢትሉ ዘመን የለን እዚ ንተጋሩ ንቅድሚት ዘምፀአ 100 ዓመት እውን ሰሪሕና ክነምጾ ዘይንኽእል ኤርትራ ትበሃል برعنت زخونت عدي ويدما كنت استرفت عد كواس تملكت انجدي 30 عامه غير خند زي تفلطتن يلان تتفليت اون خمزه لا يزقصر تግራይ كم تግራይ ግን I think ن30 ወይ 100 ዓመት ክንሰርሖ ዘይንኽእል ኣብ 3 ወርሒ ወይ 4 ወርሒ ጸለጥና ባዕለምና ቅድሚት ተምጽኦም ሃገር ናይ ሙኻን ሕልምና እውን እንተኾነ ካብ መራሕትና ጀሚሩ ክሳዕት ማለት ዕብዳን ይዙሉ ወዝነበሩ ዕብዳን ማለት ምስ ቀታሊኻ መንባር ምዃኑ ዘርኤ ሓቃዊ ምስሊ ኢትዮጵያ ኢና ርኢና ስለዚ ንትውልድና ንወለደና ክቕፅል ዝነበረ ሳይክል ዝቁረፀሉ ዘመን ኢና ርኢና ናተይን ናትኩምን ናይ ካልኦትን ህይወት ኣብዚ ዘመንዚ ፍርቂ ክፍለ ዘመን ዝውን ኣይንበፅሕን ኢና ክንሓልፍ ኢና ግን ነቶም መፀእቲ ደቅና ደቂ መቐለ ደቂ ኣክሱም ደቂ ምዕራብ ደቂ ማእኸል ደቂ ምብራቕን ደቡብን ግን ተሓፈረት ተኸበረት ዝበልፀገትን ዝማዕበለትን ኣክሱማዊት ትመስል ትግራይ ዝበለፀትን ገይርና ክነሃንፃ ንኽእል ኢና ማለት ስለዚ እቲ ውፅኢት እዚ እቲ ናይ ደምና ውፅኢት ሕዚ ዘን ኣሕዋትና ዝኸፍልኦ ዘለዋ ሕርሲ ይንሕአን من تتግራይን ደመ ነፍሲሰን من تتግራይን ኢደን خفيلن من تتግራይን ኢደን خفيلن ኤርትራው ድሕሪ ጣልያን ወይ ቅድሚ ጣልያን ጀሚሩ 60 ዓመት ብገዛእቲ 30 ዓመት ብቃልሲ 30 ዓመት ብኢሳያስ 100 ገለን ዓመት ነፃ ኣይወፅን ትግራይ ብ3 ወርሕን ብ4 ወርሕን ሓራት ወፅላ ዚና ዓን ዓወት እዩ ዓለም ንኢትዮጵያ ብከምዘ ይፈልጣን ኣብ ዓለም እውን ስማ ፀሪሕ ይፈልጥን እዩ ትግራይ ክንድዝ መጽያ ኣብ ሴኩሪቲ ካውንስል ኣትያስ መዘራረቢት ኮይና ክሳዕ ክንድዝ ፓወር ኣለዋ ጥራሕ ዘይኮነስ ምብራቅ ኣፍሪካ ሙሉእ ብሙሉእ ኣዛቢዓቶላ ትግራይ ብሰንኪ ትግራይ ኢትዮጵያ ትበሃል ትፈርሰላ ብሰንኪ ትግራይ ኤርትራ ዝበሃል ወይ ኢሳያስ ዝበሃል ክፈርስ እዩ ብሰንኪ ትግራይ ኢስት ኣፍሪካ ይናጋዕ ኣሎ ብሰንኪ ትግራይ ድማ ዓለም ይዛረብ ኣሎ እዚ ንዓና ገይን እዩ እዚ ንዓና ትርፊ እዩ ከም ተጋሩ ድማ ዓንተወይ ዝበሃል ዝነበረ ብናተይ ኣተሓሳስባ ወይ ብናተይ ገምጋም I think Tigray reserve ገይሩ እዩ ስቂሉ እዩ ይብልኒ I don't think so ንዘመናት ጠፊኡ ጸንሐ ልዕሊ 100 ዓመት ወይ ድማ 50 ዓመት ዝኾን ካብ ትግራይ ዝወፀ ፍጹም ትግራይ ዘይፈልጣ ቋንቋ ዘይዛረብ ትግራይ ማንነቱ አልሹ ዘርኡ አልሹ መሰረቱ አልሹ መን የአነ ክብል ተገይሩ እዩ ጠፊኡ ዝነበረ ትውልድ ካብ መሬት ኹዕትና ምጽና ኢና 50 ሺህ ሞይት ክኸውን ይኽእል እዩ ሚልዮን ትግራይ ግን ካብ ዝጠፍኦሉ ቦታ መሊስና ኢና እዚ ትከስምና ዓና ስለዚ እቲ ላይት ወይ እቲ ዝሐሸ ወይ እቲ ጽቡቕ ሳይዱ እውን ክንርኢ ኣለና ማለት እዩ ብዘይካ መስዋዕቲ ብዘይካ ሞት there is no ነፃነት እዚ ዝተፈለጠ እዩ ኤርትራውያን ዕድመ ልክዖም ሓመድ በሊዖም እዮም ሓራን ክወፁ بطاليان 4 عمت بإنجليز 10 عمت بشعبية 30 عمت بقالسي 30 عمت يريكم بدمر لإتي عمت نحنا زي قبرنا نصنحنا سلازي بدمر نابز درجازي بس يحيو سلازي كسبينا عنا إزول زلقو دمسنا نقصل قلصنا نقصل صباح سكرتي كونسل كوسنيو صباح كوسنيو مالت بصبوق توسينا ملنا نتمنجستك وصن تقدي دمو مخبر سلام انت اتيوم معك انت غيرهم لصبوق زي غيرهم لكن باورؤو مسا عدلنا ابركنا اب قصمنان اب دليتنا يدرخ زي كندفق على ما قلنا انت اللي تزيليو نحنا زرايا يدلينا ايا ايدلينا بعنا اومينا بعنا زراياتنا تقراي تسعر السنا نحيل دبلوماسي ندفع علم بزعبنا يزدرب تجرافيك مثلي لاخو لوس انجلس اندي زلكم سلفي هوليوود وصدوا كيدو كسح هوليوود كاليفورنيا كيدو بيغسح بيفرلي هيلز نقروم نتوم اكترات نقروم نتوم سوبر ستارز علم يفلت زي انتريك سقط طيب سلازي زي بمقارب بيلنا برئسينا نشنف عالم اسرائيل نس كل عرب عسقس كتغزو كلا برئسايا امريكان عالم كتغزو كلا بدمر تشاينا انديان فرق عالمين امريكا ب 300 مليون كتغزو كلا برئسيو تغاري برئسي بيلنا ما ببلحتنا بيلنا عالم نغزو اقسم زهانصنا هايمانوت تقبلنا كل نجر زغبرنا نحنا تغارينا صباح زحش التግራይ كنمسرتنا السنا يقصل حزون كن exactly that's what I'm talking about زيهم يمصلوا I think حنت قال عدنا ولا اكثر مس من تريبل من جونز زولوا سرحت دي واتش زبل تذكروا ساون قدمت الفلاش مثلا الشمال زيهم تتزاريهم علم بقليلو يسمع مالت سلازي نحنا بروباغندا يكون نسرح زلنا فاكتينا نقرب زلنا قلقتنا ግን مسرت يبلمون ولا شح سبسب ولا ما يتشح يسبسب ترقم يولن 20 مليون نهالو 5 مليون تقارو نسمع لنا واي تقارو سلازخونا يكون حقي سلازلنا ابزوانا زفسس زلو سلازريو سلازي سعارتينا كاين شبر نتوم مشبرت ግን ናብ ሕግን ክመጹ ተዘይ ኮይኑ ድማ ባዕልና ፈረድትን ገበትን ኮይና ክንቀጽሙን ክንድምሰሙን ግድን እዩ ስነልቦናና ሕዝውን ዋላና ሞትና ልዑል እዩ መን ተሐቅስል ንመውት ስለዝኾነ አጀና ትግራይ ትስዕር خبرن مغسن نتوم منتنا كم شمعة قليطوم نحنا زبره زلو برهت تግራይ مصاي تግራይ حزون تقرب يا زلا حرسنا ولدت تግራይ يختل ابوا عوت حفاش
ابو فاخ
اي ودانا نكو ودانا مسير كوديو ابيت
دايته كنت حضرنا سلف زقدي كودا
تايديو صنا حدا تاينا بهذا مسلكا كاب واشنطن دي سي دحر ساعات كلته خوينو ايدقسنا تግራይ ስካብ ትዕወተ ይንድቅስን እሞ መጀመርታና ኻጥያቀ ሚኪ بدم بكلاشن متكواس كتستاوس دايات بهاللغة
كورس استاوس جوست كورس يدما زقرب نجار
ناتي ناي ميكن حيل لو افنا يا خوينا
سنة سرعات السقاد امبر انس يلا خويا
اما تانا سلام اوسر تزوركا يا ميكي ابا كوينا هالوين كويا هالوين بك افتا مو اكتر سرحلا مصيم سم كزارونا يم النازي
do it exactly
بك افورشريو لزغيرنا يخا افريم تاخا كيك تغبرنا لخاني منشو
هاي بعلي وانجرجر كلا بيدو انا اخوي
هاي
بل دخلنا هنا خزس
I know ما anyway نوحين لا لما انت كن بزح نغرنا
بلوا بركاتون لقاقوا قالي غزي راخبنا
بقى كميو سامرايز غيرنا حيزي اب توسنه ساعات قدم لنا مستسانا نا يونايتد نيشن اخيوان ليو ايترسعو تخاتاتل احوات ايوهم ايونا احواتنا بتقلالا تزاروا دقنسي احواتنا بتلي اذا نغرات ناي لوم تمادن نزارو زنبرنا زري خنو فيديوهات بتعمي زنادد ولا انتخونما ايونا ايوهم احوات اذا نغر زي خوغخي صباح نغو سلونسينا ازوم زقيلهم زيروحو باندا مالت بعلم باندا خوينم باندا زولنا زلو ما نحنا كاب تግራይ መንግስቲ ገንዘብ ተኸፈልተ ይኮናን احنا زيو ابزي ازنه احواتكم اربعتينا زغل ساعات توزيو مساهم نايبا علنا ሓሳብ ነቕርበልኩም ዘለና ደሞዝ ተኸፊልና ኣይኮነን ደሞዝና ግን ንህዝብና ኣብ ጎኑ ኮይና ስለ ንሳተፍ ዘለና እዩ ንህዝቢ ትግራይ ድማ ናጽነታ እስካብ ትወፅእ ማንም ነፍሲ ወከፍ ትግራዋይ ክድቅስ የብሉን ነፍሲ ወከፍ ትግራዋይ ወፂኻ ክትስለፍ ኣለካ ምስላፍ ማለት ድማ ከላሽን ምትኳስ ጥራይ ኣይኮነን ባይዘወታ ጥያቄ ዝሓትኮ ንምልክታ እያ ጽባሕ ንጎም መቐለ ኸይና ኩልና እዚኣነን ኣርባዕተና መን እዩ ዕላማ ዘይስሕት ክንፋለጥ ኢና ብሓደ ኮይና
ኤግዛክትሊ ደሓን ንመን ኢና ክንወቅዕ ንትፅላለት ናይቶም ወታደራት ድዩ ምስ ክኸዱ እዮማ
ኣይኮነ ንስማ ድሓነ ኣብ ደገ ክንማየጠሉ ኢና መን ከም ዝኾነ ኣብዚ ግን ሚድያ ስለ ዝኾና ፕሮፌሽናል ኮይና ክንሕዛ ኣለና ተባሂልና ኣለና ኢና ድሓን ንሱ ሽዑ ግዜ ክነብሎ ኢና ግን ማንም ዝኾነ ሰላም ዝደሊ ሰብ ኤርትራ ኾነ ካሊእ ኾነ ንሕና ሰላም ክንነብር ብሰላም ክኸውን ዓድና ኢና ንምነይ ስለዚዩ ትሕሩን ዘለኹም ኣሕዋትና ይርደአና እዩ ሓሪንኩም ግን ምስ ሰብ ባእሲ ኣየድልየናን ዓርሲ ብዓርስና ግን ክንተሓዋወፍ ክንከባበር ክንፋቶ ኣለና ድሕሪ ሒዚ ተጋሩ ምስ ተጋሩ ትግራይ ንህዝቢ ንተጋሩ እያ ህዝቢ መሬት ትግራይ ስለዚዩ ማንኛውም ግዜ በቃ ተሓቃቀፉ ተኸባበሩ ትግራይ ትዕወት እያ ኩልኹም መናእሰይ ትግራይ ተበገሱ ተባሂልኩም ኢኹም በብዘለኹም ዓለም ውሽጢ ቃልሲ ኢና ቃልስኹም ኣይትረስዑ ስለዚዩ ንተጋሩ ከዓ ደግፉ ዓርሲ በዓርስና ንከባበር ንፈቃቀር እዚኣ ክትወግሕ እያ ፅባሕ ንጎና እናበልኩ ደሓን ሕደሩ ኣብ ኣሜሪካ ዘለኹም ደሓን ወዓሉ ኣብ ካሊእ ዓለም ዘለኹም
صراحة بزز زي خلينا نراها بين بتاعهم عند تراها بتناي من اسمه تناي تاع اسمه المحزي كله ندارنا هون وعدينا مالت ثانك يو
هو زبلت بتنا يونايتد نيشن ناي عالم حرة المنجستات حابرنا خنقربنا سلازيو أيهم صباح أقدم بيلنا بجزء ولا خنجمرو
hopefully ميكرايان بركاتنون بزقات عمزي بخبر نعدمكم ولنا نتخيلكم صباح قامشيت كم تنحيز ساعات
تقبل ما يوم تعدمه
صدام يلن
السلام
هذا بقى كو خاينو عزيز مالتي قديم that's it no worries we are on your dispense anyways divided we fall united we stand يقولوا فرنجي
Yeah, the IS slogan, Nana. Thank you so much. We love you guys. We appreciate you. I know it's been a long hours again. This was necessary, Becca. Thank you. Good night.
Tigray